Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's can't make everything make sense. Like why your mom still listens to the radio or what she meant when she sent that emoji. But a zero-sugar drink that's still full of fruit flavor, we made that make sense. And strawberry, passion fruit, Concord grape, and more, you gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Cottonwood, California, a liar and some very stupid people put together a complicated murder plot, then bumble their way to one of the most incompetent yet vicious killings ever. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another just absolutely insane edition of Small Town Murder. And
Fantastic.
We will not disappoint today because it's bonkers, absolutely bonkers. Quickly, before we get to the show, just want to thank everybody for everything that you do for us. Yeah. Your reviews are helpful, 5 stars, wherever you're listening to this, whatever app you're listening on. You can head over to shutupandgivememurder.com if you want more from the show. You want merchandise. We got everything you can imagine is on there. All sorts of crazy stuff. You can imagine there's probably going to be a John Wayne Gacy t-shirt at some point with his wonderful song from Patreon and all that. Most importantly, get your tickets to live shows there. We are coming. It's July 15th. We will be in New Orleans. There is tickets to that show. We're in Atlanta the next night. That's sold out. Keep checking back. Maybe people might return a ticket or two for Atlanta. But New Orleans, get your tickets now and go there, even though it's insanely hot there.
It's going to be
awful. Boy. Yeah. It's going to be bad. Let's all suffer it together. We promise it'll be well cooled in the theater there, so it'll be fun. Do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus stuff.
Oh, boy.
Not enough that you get Small Town Murder Express every Friday for free in the feed. No. Patreon, though, you want even more stuff, you're going to get it there. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody $5 or above, you're going to get access to everything we make bonus-wise, and that includes Crime and Sports bonus, Small Town Murder bonus. This week, what you're going to get, some fun stuff. For Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about, we're each going to present our top 5 sports movie list.
Oh, I can't wait.
Excluding a couple of just favorites that are going to be in there for both of us, like Major League. We'll talk about Major League, but it won't be in our top 5. We'll have a couple of honorable mentions, but we're going to get in depth about our all-time favorite sports movies because this is a popular subject. And then
an award show,
it's good stuff. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about, back by popular demand, old-timey murders. We go back through the newspaper archives and find just some of the craziest murders we can find from any time in the last 150 years. It's a good time. And then also I'm going to mix in some just weird articles that I found, some just strange things. Some
like what?
Like some alien stuff, like a clown that got murdered in his dressing room at Madison Square Garden, which I find amusing as shit. So check all that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. New episodes every 2 weeks. There you go. Do that. And you get a shout out at the end of the show.
Yes, you do.
Jimmy is going to mispronounce your name horribly while trying his best to get it correct. So that said, time for the disclaimer. This is a comedy show. We're comedians. The show, though, even though it's insane, it is all real. There's nothing embellished for comic effect or anything like that. All real facts, all crazy stuff. And we're going to make jokes about crazy murders. But the thing that we do here, this is how we work this, is we make sure we go out of our way not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why is that?
Because we're assholes. But we're not scumbags.
There you have it.
That's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, we're going to have a good time. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, I don't know, maybe we're not for you, but we might be. Just no complaining later. Let's say that. So if that sounds good to you, wherever you are, at home, cleaning, in the car, maybe not in a very public place, but you can say it under your breath, but try to shout it. Otherwise, clear the lungs and shout, Shut up
and give me murder.
Let's do this, Jimmy.
All right,
let's go on a trip, shall we?
Let's go.
Let's go. We are going this week, my goodness, all the way out to California.
Oh,
it has been
beautiful California.
This is not where you're thinking. This is different. This is inland, baby.
Oh, boy.
Different times. This is
desert.
This is militia country. No, it's up north. So this is it's on the I-5 up north by Redwood and all that stuff. It's it's a different type of place. Cottonwood, California. We're going to.
That's east of San Francisco?
Oh yeah. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes to Sacramento, about 3 hours and 10 minutes to San Francisco.
Oh, it's out there.
It's out there. And then 11 hours, it's a long car ride in one state, to Borrego Springs, which was our last California episode 234, way back then. Sickness, Solvent, and Snuff Films was the name of that one.
11 hours.
11 hours. That one was gross, by the way, if you want to go back and hear a real gross one. That one was...
Still in the same state?
Isn't that crazy? It's like Texas and California you can do that in.
Nice.
Because we drove for, 40 hours through Texas, I want to say, to get halfway through it?
Yeah.
86 hours, I think it was.
36 hours, yeah.
To get halfway through Texas, something like that. So this is in Shasta County, like the cheap soda that you see out there. Area code 530. Motto is, Jesus, this is just a wordy motto. Motto, quote, where Shasta County's Old West history began.
Oh, my.
Jesus Christ, that's too much, man. That's a lot. It's too much.
Couldn't you say where it all began?
Where Old West history begins. I don't know, something like that. But where this county's, we want to be specific. We need to be truthful with the motto, everybody.
Really pin it down.
Well, I mean, Old West didn't begin here. This county? Okay, can we all agree on the county? Okay. They made that motto. History of this town, it was a stagecoach town where basically, people would stop on the way to shit. That's all it was.
The Gold Rush, yeah?
The Gold Rush Oregon Trail this was on also. So you go up through there.
Shit.
The first post office was opened in 1852. It was established as a settlement in 1849, which is when a lot of things were, because that's when the gold rush was. So hence the San Francisco 49ers. There you go. That's why why they're them. Cottonwood here, it's between Reading and Red Bluff inland there. So to give you an idea, not Redwood, Reading is what I was thinking of. So many Reds, I just threw Redwood in there too. 1849, it was known as a stop for supplies and some food before you head up to the Oregon Trail that way. Okay. So it was just there. In 1859, a Bavarian immigrant named Jacob Foster purchased 240 acres on the north side of the Cottonwood Creek, and that's the town of Cottonwood now. So one
Green
German
donuts
dude
just crushing it.
Just donuts and sports cars, just it's doing its thing, crushing it. Foster, he built a hotel on his land, and then it became a real town because people would actually stop and stay for more than to take a dump and eat something. They would actually get a room and hang out. In 1872, it became a big shipping point for cattle and lumber and agricultural products that would come from the Sacramento River Valley. So it would be like a stopover to stage everything and do that sort of shit. And then the railroad came through, and once the railroad came through, then forget about it.
Boy. Yeah.
Now you got a town. What are we talking about here? This town keeps growing for some reason. People keep coming here. I don't know if it's just Northern California is very, very expensive, so you drop. But it's not commutable. You can't commute 2 hours and some change to Sacramento every day, or I don't know.
Sacramento should be affordable.
It
shouldn't have to live 2 hours away to work there.
When you drive around, you don't think, wow, this is a real expensive city. When you're driving around Sacramento, you think, oh, hey, this looks like Columbus, Ohio. Terrific. By the way, we'll be in Sacramento in August there. Still tickets left for the Crime and Sports, Sacramentites.
In the most affordable appearing expensive city in America.
That's right. That's what it is. They like it low key there. They don't want to show off at all. My house it's worth a ridiculous amount of money, but I like it to look like shit. I like the whole place to look kind of run down. That's what I'm looking for. So
I want it to look like there's a water shortage here.
That's all, which there is, by the way, in case you're wondering. So in 1997, they filmed the movie Almost Heroes here, which is Chris Farley's last movie. That's the one with him and Matthew Perry, and it's his last movie. It's like an Old West type movie. And then in 1961, they filmed the movie Hell is for Heroes, starring Steve McQueen here. And this was Bob Newhart's debut appearance in anything.
Really?
Yeah, so that was filmed here as well. So Steve McQueen went through and I'm sure had sex with every woman in town because he was the most popular man alive back then. So
accounting for a boom in population.
That's it. A huge boom after that once he left. Just a bunch of good-looking kids being born all over the place. No one could understand it. Self-assured, good-looking kids that drive fast.
And love motorcycles.
Love them. Motorcycles and bullet Mustangs and you name it. So here are some reviews of the town. There's no bad reviews of this town.
Really?
Here's 5 stars. I'll burn through this pretty quick here. We live a slower pace of life in our small, quaint town. Oh, boy, that's the first thing. Our neighborhood has ranchers who raise cattle. Some of us have horses, goats, gardens, and pets. Well, gardens and pets go everywhere. The rest of it is specific to you.
Yeah, people in Brooklyn with both of those.
We have cats and birds, and we eat dinner and stuff. It's great.
I grow tomatoes on my patio.
This part of Northern California is surrounded by mountains. It's pretty. It is pretty up there.
Yeah.
Plus, we are 25 minutes from Shasta and Whiskey Town Lakes. Cottonwood is the perfect balance for peace and quiet. It's actually says quite. Peace and quiet. Peace and quiet. Our neighborhood homes sit on acres of property. We have space between the homes. We can see Mount Shasta from our house, and some neighbors have a view of both mountains, Shasta and Lassen. Our biggest store is Holiday Market that sells farm-raised beef, chicken, local honey, and a large selection of organic foods. This sounds like a guide for newly moved here people. We have no traffic or sidewalks and are 5 minutes from the freeway. Okay, that's nice. Here's 4 stars. From the review, it doesn't sound like 4 stars. It's more like a 3, but we'll give them the 4. Quote, there are some of the most kind people in the community, good surrounding schools, great teachers. There are also a ton of tweaks and drug addicts.
Hell yeah.
Drug and gang life is huge.
Fucking tweaks.
Tweaks. That's what I like. Tweaks. Look at these tweaks walking around. That sounds like, I don't even know. That almost sounds like a gay slur. Well, you know what I mean? Like someone's like, man, all these tweaks walking around. I don't like it. You know?
That word's going to get ripped from the lexicon soon.
That is weird. Tweaks. That's a slur for a gay meth addicted person. That's what that is. That's what a redneck will call him. Tweaks. He's a tweak. He's a tweak and a twink. Both of them.
He's a bottom on meth. That's a tweak.
Tweaky twink, and I don't like it at all. I ain't gonna like it. Tons of drug addicts, drug life. It is not very safe at all. Well, that's not good if it's a goddamn... No. We'll be the judge of that, by the way. We have statistics. The surrounding cities are not very safe as well. It's very close to mountains and Sacramento and lakes, which is nice. Sacramento's 2 hours and 15 minutes away. That's not close.
Not close at all.
The shops are cute. You could raise a family here, small town feel, but the drug thing is an issue for sure. The sports here are awesome, lots of competition. The weather is amazing despite the droughts. Well, that's part of weather. So,
despite.
See what I mean? 4 stars seems like...
It doesn't sound like a 4-star review.
No, not at all. Maybe 3 tops. Population of this town here, 3,280 people. It's been going up like crazy, by the way. It's like 53% female, so that's way above the average here. Median age is young. There's a lot of kids 0 to 9.
Oh,
so and anybody above 60, there's nobody here above 60. People leave apparently. 41% married, almost twice the divorce rate of the rest of the country. That's nice. 32% single with children, which is. That's way higher than normal for whatever that's worth. Race of this town, 77% white, 0.0% black, 0.0% Asian.
Is that right?
If you've been to California, there aren't a lot of places you go where there aren't any black people or any Asian people. That's just not a... It's just not a thing. Yeah. It's rare, especially in any proximity to San Francisco, within driving range of San Francisco or Sacramento or any population base. That just seems really on purpose or something. That's weird. 17.7% Hispanic here, though, and 1.3% Hawaiian Pacific Islander. So
what?
Community there, I guess. A decent-sized community. Religion here, only 27% religious. There we go.
Very nice.
It's not bad here. The people here, mostly other Christian. Besides that, there's 5% Catholic, 4% Mormon, and the rest are all other there. 0.1% Jewish, so not a lot of Jewish people here. In the last election in Shasta County, 33% Democrat, 65% Republican, and 2.3% Independent. Unemployment rate here, a little bit higher than the national average, but not too much higher. The thing is, the median household income is only $42,000 a year. The rest of the country, it's about $54,000, so that's not good. The cost of living, though, is right around normal. 100 is average. Here it's 102.
Not bad. A little bit less than everybody else, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, median home cost here, $322,000, which is... much. Too much, but for California, it's San Francisco.
It's not bad for California.
Yeah, in Northern California, in like an urban area, you can't get someone's garage, like the apartment above their garage, for that price. Literally, you can't do that. So, if we've convinced you, damn it, you need to be on the I-5 freeway, right smack in the middle of California, halfway to Reno. We have for you the Cottonwood, California Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is a little bit below the national average. Goes for $11.88 a month is the average 2-bedroom, so that's not bad. Yeah. Here you go. If you really just want to be here, you don't care where you live, this is for you. 2-bedroom. I don't know how many baths, if it's a bucket situation or what, but it's 600 square feet, and it's a shitty trailer. It's a trailer, and it's a piece of shit. It's a bad trailer, even. It's not even like, it's a trailer, but it's decent. It's bad for a trailer. For a bad trailer. There is a picture of a bathroom. It looks terrible. This is our goal, everybody. Someday I'm going to have my own toilet to sit on. That's what I want. So, it doesn't look good. It's falling apart also. I mean, you couldn't tow. If you tried to tow this thing, it would just be the hitch. You'd be just dragging the hitch with the thing would be in pieces.
Break apart.
$11,900 for this, though. It is the price of a used car, so that's not bad.
$11,000
for a home. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square feet. It is raised ranch, very basic looking. Inside, very Western look. Looks like it was recently remodeled with the barn doors and all that shit of thing. It's one of those type of deals where it looks rustic on purpose.
There's nothing in trends of homes that I hate more than barn doors.
No, big Yellowstone fans, these people, I feel like. Just I watch it on repeat. $699,000 for this bad boy.
Holy shit.
Seems a little pricey. Then, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,198 square foot. Not that big, but it's a gigantic farm property.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big farm property, all sorts of shit here. There's a milk barn. There's all sorts. Oh, yeah, grain silos, dairy barns. This is.
My God.
Yeah, you can just go here and put on your overalls and do it up.
Even if you don't use the shit, it's cool just to look at it all out
it's
there.
Neat to look at. $2,250,000 though. Maybe
it's operating. That thing's real.
Maybe look at somebody else's farm and buy a house if you want to do that. Because you need to work on that.
Yeah,
that
one requires shit every day.
You need to pay for that shit. That's expensive. Yeah. That's a lot of money for a farm. But I mean, for a lot of property and a farm, if you had like some good money and you wanted to like retire and be a farmer, this would be the place to do it. And it's kind
of cool.
It's pretty cool. You'd probably want a better house though if you had that kind of money.
Yeah.
No one with millions of dollars wants to live in this house. It's kind of a shitty little house.
My mom's friend had one in upstate New York, and the son lost his arm on the farm because he was...
Why is that funny? Both of us laughed when you said that. I almost spit my water out.
Kid lost his fucking arm, James.
Why is that funny? Ha ha. So poor kid with blood squirting out, and we're like, look at him. His arm's moving on its own. That's hilarious. What's wrong with us?
Every time I think about wanting something like that when I retire, I think a kid lost his fucking arm. What are my chances? I'm already missing a finger.
You're in for it already. I don't want to actually farm. No. But if you get someplace like that and watch others farm,
there you go.
You can look over your shit and go, good job. Good job. Yeah. Make butter. Thank you.
Again, but that stokes my fear of losing everything, like hiring people to do things. Somebody's going to lose a fucking arm and they're going to own my farm.
I think that's part of farm work. I think that's almost like in Tiger King when they get somebody lost an arm. They're like, I'm fucking around with tigers. What, She's like, what do you want from me? I'm fucking with tigers.
That's what I fear.
I feel like it's going to happen. They're going to be like, I'm on a farm. I expect to lose a limb once in a while. I mean, if I get out of here with 2-3 limbs, I'm happy.
I need a dozen of that person willing to lose appendages for my benefit of milking these cows.
You can find them. I'm telling you, they're out there. There's people who love it. They want to do it. So, things to do besides lose your arm in a farming accident. Hot Rods and Hogs is the one event. Oh, there we go. Hot Rods and Hogs car and bike show. Wow, there is imagine
This is very Steve McQueen.
Well, this is also, in that area of California, this is also a lot of, this is going to be quite a militia event.
Yeah, moonshine-driven vehicles.
This is going to be interesting. Presented by the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. It is $25 to register a car, $25 to register a bike, full-color magnetic dash plaques to the first 200 entrants. After that, you can go fuck yourself, though. They only got 200. That's it. So show up, do that.
Fuck you.
They have hot dogs there. They should call it Hot Rods, Hogs, and Hot Dogs then.
There you go. Better. Look at you. You name it better.
Add that in there. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Hot Rods and Hot Dogs.
Hot Rods and Hot Dogs. That sounds... I'd way go there. I'll assume there's bikes too. I don't know. So then there's the Happy Valley Strawberry Festival. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I want to go to the strawberry. We had another strawberry festival a couple months ago. Our famous generous servings of sweet, fresh strawberries, ice cream, and shortcake are only $8. Take me there. Take me here. You go to a high school and eat strawberries, apparently. They have arts and crafts, delicious food, and refreshing drinks like strawberry shortcake, kettle corn, French fries, hot dogs, Polish dogs, tri-tip sandwiches, nachos. Yeah, okay. Homemade tamales, pulled pork, snow cones.
Yeah.
I want to go here.
Yeah,
I want this. Yeah. This is good shit. Continuous entertainment. Well, my want is waning now because I'd rather have no entertainment than bad entertainment. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Unless it's really bad, and then I'm fixated. So if there's like, if there's a band of like 5 kids, all of whom lost many limbs in farm accidents, and they formed a band together somehow, I'll watch that. That'll be amazing. You know what I mean? Something like that. Just not to laugh at their disabilities, but I'm sure the music will be terrible. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I want them to do well, but let's be realistic here. If you got one fucking arm and one leg, you're probably not going to be a great guitar player. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, the guy from Def Leppard figured it out.
Yeah, and he was fucking terrible at it. Yeah, that sounds... No offense, but I mean, if you listen to Def Leppard albums we have joking around, and there's sound like a band at one point, and then all of a sudden it sounds like they have a drum machine, and you're like, what happened now? Oh, it's that electronic shit. Nice of them to keep them in the band, though. That was very nice.
It was very, 88
it was
of
nice.
them.
Yeah, but it would be like if you got your throat ripped out by a panther and had no gift of speech anymore, and I'm like, you're still on the show, though, and you just go here and
you're
you go,
still singing.
Well, when shit pops up, I don't know if that would work. You know what I mean? We might have to. I don't know if the show would be the same.
When it's in your range, hit those notes.
Hit that note, Jimmy. You do it. Background. Just do it. So there is a pet adoptions, the 4-H Swine Club Pancake Breakfast.
What?
I guess you're celebrating pigs and eating bacon. That sounds nice.
Swine club? That sounds gross.
It sounds smelly. There's a rodeo, auto racing, nightly entertainment. This is all for strawberries? Wow. Yeah. Saturday auto racing as well as lawnmower races. Then there's a demolition derby on Sunday.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Local bands play throughout the day.
God damn it.
Shit. There we go.
Why you ruin my good time?
And then finally, come see the pig races and Washboard Willie. Can't miss old Washboard Willie. Come on. Then it says, where else can you go to spend the day being entertained while eating a corn dog and drinking your favorite drink? I don't know. Home with unlimited entertainment options with the internet? I don't know. Anywhere else?
Why do all of these festivals resort to some hillbilly shit?
I don't know. I don't know what the obsession is, but whatever. I don't understand it. Why do we got to resort
to people with minimal talent?
I don't understand it either. I get they don't want to pay a lot for entertainment, but just don't have any entertainment. Right. You have speakers. Put a fucking Spotify playlist on and have fun. You don't need these people playing cover songs when you could play the real songs that are better. Talking about. So crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here, property crime is slightly below the national average, so not too high. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, slightly above average.
Oh.
So one's a little below, one's a little above, but they're both right in the range of normal. So kind of average when it comes to that. That said, let's talk about just a bonkers-ass murder. Let's do this.
Do it.
Okay. Holy shit. We have to go back to 1997 where this whole mess starts, okay? Yeah. That's going to be our nexus here. That's going to be our baseline. First, let's talk about a guy. My goodness, this guy. Hard to describe him because you don't know where to start. It's one of these guys. Todd Jesse Garton, Garton. So, Todd here.
I've already told you. I had a friend named Jesse Garton. What is his name?
Todd Jesse Garton.
Stop it.
Todd Jesse Garton.
Unbelievable. I had a friend named Jesse Garton in high school that I think it was his middle name. And we told him if you add an S to your last name backward, it spells snot rag. And that's what we called him forever.
Wait till you give it about 20 minutes and you're going to really go, no fucking way.
This. Oh, my God.
Wait, it's going to create. Okay. So Todd is 27 years old in 1997. Okay. Not Jesse. No. Well, it's going to be very interesting. Definitely not Jesse in our story, but still. Now, he grew up in Shasta County, in this area. And his family moved to Portland, Oregon when he was 15 years old in 1985. So they go there, and that's where he went to high school, was in Portland, Oregon. And obviously, when he was 15, he didn't just drop out and be like, you know what, I'm I'm just going to live the Portland lifestyle from now on. And, whatever that is, I'm not sure. I'm going to put flannel on and figure it out as I go. So he would talk to he's a liar. Let's just say this. Todd is an enormous fucking liar, number one. Yeah. Which is even more hilarious because later on he's like a pudgy guy who's completely bald. He looks like... He looks ridiculous. He's a ridiculous man. Like when you look at this guy, you go, look at this fucking schlub. And then he tells you these grand stories where you're like, seriously, bro? Come on. So
Stephen King should write a book like that.
Called Liar.
Yeah, where a very handsome man, every time he lies, he starts to look worse and worse. Mm-hmm. And at the end, he's bald and a fat, gross man.
He just a handful of hair comes out every time, and he just another chin. His jowls grow bigger. He's like, what's happening? What's going on? So he ends up telling all of his friends that he talks a lot about the Irish Republican Army, the IRA, which in the 80s was a big deal. And, there was attacks and bombings and all that kind of shit going on. So it was a big deal. So he even had an IRA tattoo on his arm. Ooh. In high school, which in the 80s, not a lot of 15-year-olds in the 80s had tattoos, like real tattoos. That wasn't normal at all.
And political ones.
I was going to say, and one of like an international fucking, it's weird. So he claimed that he had gone to Ireland to assist the group in carrying out acts of violence. He's telling kids in high school this when he gets to Oregon. Like, yeah, you don't know me. I've been in the shit, man. Like, I've been on the ground, I've been planting bombs in train stations and shit, brother. Like, it's tough out there, but you got to fight off the English oppression. That's the only way.
I'm 15, but I boot up.
I'll do it. I have done it. I mean, back when I was 12, obviously, it was a different time. I was... Back in the day, when I was 11, 12, I had just a bloodlust for violence. It was a different type of thing. I've matured a lot now, and, I'm looking at my golden years. I'm looking to just kind of relax and,
Fuck the queen.
Just kind of going to hang out here and diddle the homecoming queen, if that's an idea. You guys just hand her on over to me because I'm obviously cool. Check out my tattoo. But that's his deal. He's going to a new school, and this is going to be his persona here. So I believe this. I don't know if his lying happened before this, but this is really when he kicks it up a notch, when he can go be whoever he wants. Yeah. At a new school, you can be whoever you want, especially one in another state where no one knows you. You can be anybody.
That's really going hard to get a tattoo to solidify the lie at that age. That's real deep.
IRA, brother. So that's what he says he's going to do. He also would collect news articles about the IRA, and he had them all. He'd do clippings, like of magazine clippings and newspaper clippings, and he had them all taped inside a big book, like a
serial killer,
like a crazy movie villain murderer that would have strings on his walls with people back. Yeah, very concentrated. Serial killer, Saw kind of murderer, I believe, is what's going on here. That's what they would do. He also had them all taped, not in a scrapbook, though. I pictured at first a big scrapbook, a grandma has with her grandkids, except, with bombs and shit. Instead, he has them all taped up on the back and front covers inside of his anarchist cookbook copy.
Oh, he's got one of those, of course.
Everybody, if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I don't know, whatever, in that time period of when we grew up and the kid's a lot older than us by 10 years, you all knew the kid who had the anarchist cookbook. I got this anarchist cookbook. There was always one copy floating around every
600 or 800 kids.
I was gonna say every not school. There's 6, 7 per school in high school. That's how it works. So every pod of group of people you can imagine, there's one anarchist cookbook to go around. And this is pre-internet, so they couldn't just look this up. You look up shit, and it was about building bombs and explosives, and they had I remember. The one kid I knew that had it and was he tried to make his own napalm for some reason because it was in there, and I'm like, what do you need your own napalm for? It was crazy. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but
you can make TNT
he failed, obviously.
Out of shit at your house. I don't care, man.
Yeah, it was a monstrous failure, and he didn't try anymore. But He got into drugs and just started doing that, which was much more lazy. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So anyway, there was that. So he, in 1986, he meets a young lady.
All right.
He meets a young lady named Lynn in 1986 when they're both 16. And, they get it on. They love each other right away. It's a passionate relationship. It's they're ready to go, man. She's into the bad boy. She doesn't care about his IRA ties and leanings. That's okay with her. Or tattoos. That's cool, man. Yeah. So... yeah, but she ended up being kicked out of school for like an entire year during their senior year.
Really?
God knows for what. But she gets kicked out of school, so they see each other less because she's not in school. Right. Isn't that amazing? In high school, it
can ruin everything.
I know I can see her after school and on weekends and stuff, but I mean, she's not like in school. I need a chick I can see before math and after English. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't have that, what am I doing?
It's not even the same classes, but still, it matters.
Let's see that schedule. Ooh, yeah, we don't have any of the same classes. We're going to have to, I think we should just maybe be friends because,
Every 51 minutes, we get to see each other for 4 minutes.
Yeah, so that's cool, right? God, high school's so fucking weird. But
it's such a bizarre time.
The relationship ends because she's suspended from school. That's just so strange. They live in the same town. It doesn't make sense. So by 1987, though, the next year here, he's 17 years old, big swinging IRA dick tattooed all the way down to his knee. He meets a new young lady who he's interested in, and her name is Carol Ann.
Yeah.
Carol, she goes by, but Carol Ann is the full name. So Carol, they meet when they both have a very, very cool job at Arby's. Yeah. So at some point he was like, I got the meat, baby. That was one of his lines. Like, you want the meats? I got a slab for you, sweetheart. And she swooned. I mean, I assume that's what happened. So they began living together in 1987.
At 17?
17 years old. I don't know. I guess Arby's was paying some good jack back then. You could really make some.
Also, how bad is home life that you got to get out?
A dual Arby's salary is very odd. Well, I think they just loved each other that much. I mean, that was a big deal. Now, in 1989, he still hasn't graduated from high school, by the way. He's 19 years old at this point. He comes back to Shasta County from Portland in 1989 and graduates from high school in Shasta County. Okay. So he finishes up high school there, and he brings Carol with him as well. So he was like a sophomore, a junior, and he's had like a live-in girlfriend for 2 years. A very odd person. The whole thing's odd.
Listen, perhaps him fighting in a liberated army is accurate. Then he's doing.
You mature a lot when you commit these type of acts. Yeah. Really, you do. I mean, when you're fighting for liberation / part of a terrorist organization, depending on your viewpoint, I think it's a. It'll at least matures you to the world a little bit, and you kind of know what you want. You want to make roast beef sandwiches and love Carol to death. That's all. So
certainly hardens you to the plight of a high schooler.
I would imagine so. So in 1990, he enters the Marine Corps.
Okay.
There you go. Enters the Marine Corps. Now, the problem is, while he is in the Marine Corps, he proposes to Carol. Okay, yeah. That's good. That's nice. It's been his sweetheart here for so many years. They've been moving around together. The issue is that he, the whole entire time, has been corresponding, especially while he's in the Marines, been corresponding with love letters with Lynn back and forth.
Oh, my.
His old high school flame here. Yeah. So he's in the Marines writing her love letters. She's writing him letters back. He's also asking Carol to marry him.
Yeah.
So why two women are interested in this man, I have no idea. You have to, it's at Murder Small on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. You have to see the picture of this goddamn guy and you go, what?
What?
The hell are you talking about? It's wild, man. It's wild. So he proposes to her. Now, he's supposed to be married in March of 1991 to Carol. That's the plan. So he tells Lynn, all right, bad news, I'm marrying Carol. So he finally decides what he's going to do. And he says he's going to marry Carol. So Lynn responded, oh, no, you're not, because I've been planning on marrying you, since we were 15, and now we're talking again, and now you're going to marry some other broad from Arby's? Shit, no.
So she's not even upset. She's putting her foot down and peeing on his leg and claiming
she's
her territory.
Saying, absolutely not, is what she said. Yeah. I'm going to marry him. She said, you are not, young man. You're going to go back to your room and think about that for a while.
You're mine.
You're mine. So in order to, and he said, well, no, I already said I'm marrying her. We have like invitations picked out and shit. It's a thing. She said, okay, Lynn does. And Lynn sends Carol all of the letters that Todd sent Lynn while Todd was in the Marine Corps. Sent her the whole batch and wrote a letter with it saying, I understand you think you have a fiance, but obviously he's been writing me letters and he's a piece of shit and you clearly don't want him anymore. So you should totally dump him. Look at this. Isn't he gross? Ew.
I'm going to take him when you throw him back.
I'll take him when you're done, but for now, you don't want him. Carol, though, said, that's all right, and married him anyway. Oh, my God. In March of 1991. What the animal magnetism this man must have at this point in his life. I mean, wow, because there's no reason for it. There really isn't. He's a good liar. That's what we get. He's a good salesman and shit like that. He's like Gacy. He's got no physical attributes. He's dumpy. He's balding. He's paunchy. He's not that smart.
But he gets the gals.
But somehow he has a game. He has game. He can just throw out some bullshit and get some people in there. So he's discharged from the Marines as a Lance Corporal in September of 1991. So he was only in there 2 years, which is a short
Lance
time.
Corporal's a low rank. It's only
that's
second
not
or third rank, right?
Yeah, that's not a high anything, but that's his rank as a Lance Corporal. So, I mean, he didn't like fly up through the Marines and up through the ranks or anything. This is important later is why I say this.
Okay, all right.
Nothing wrong with being a Lance Corporal or anything else. That's fine. But he will have a whole different story of his service, obviously.
Oh, really?
Oh, he can't just say I was in the Marines for a couple years and, that was that. It's got to be some fantastical.
Yeah. I was in the Marines only for a couple of years, but that's because I was a brigadier general and they had nowhere else to put me.
I retired in 2 years because, I was at the top of everything. I was on the Joint Chiefs of Staff for about 6 months, and that's too much pressure for me. I don't like coming home. I don't want to live in Washington. I'm just not a politics kind of a guy. I want more of a country thing. I retire with the grandchildren. Oh, no, I was 20 years old. Yeah.
Bush 1 was fed up with me being smarter than him. That's all.
He couldn't take it anymore, really. It was all of that. I was telling everybody Reagan had Alzheimer's. They didn't care for that at all. So, I said, fine, I'll retire. That's fine. Full pension and everything like that. So I'm going to live out the rest of my life. That's the kind of bullshit.
Swamp, and I'm going to start with me.
He's such bullshit. Everything is bullshit with this guy. It's fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So they moved to Bend, Oregon. That's where that's where he and Carol moved to, where he works. And this will be a pattern with him. He works various jobs of different lengths of times. No, actually, they work, including he was a bartender for a while, and things, just whatever he can get here and there. Nothing that's like a career. These are all jobs. He's a local band promoter at one point,
boy.
Which has to be the saddest, loneliest job in the world. A local band promoter. Let me tell you about these guys. I'm serious. Tell you what, you come. No, son, listen, hear me out. You come to the Kinko's at 12:30 p.m. lunchtime. That's where they all work. Now, when they're on their lunch break, I'll have them play a couple of tunes for you in the break room. You got to play them quiet because the store will be open. There'll be customers there. But I think you're going to be able to tell their talent just by that. I really do. Bring sandwiches, too, because I don't have a lot of money for food.
They'll all have electronic instruments, and then you can just put headphones on and listen to them play.
We're going to do it that way. Matter of fact, I'm just going to send you an MP3. How's that? We'll just do that. The local band promoter, that's what he does. So they lived there for a few years, scraping by with various things. And then in 94, 95-ish, they end up returning to Shasta County. So coming back to Northern California here. Mm-hmm. And this is when Todd begins to work for his father's company, which is G&G Fencing.
It's probably where he should have started in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. But he wanted to strike out on his own.
Yeah.
And then he ends up
out for sure.
He ends up, I was going to say, head hung low with his bat dragon behind him is where he comes back to Shasta County. Exactly what it is. So they do that.
Yeah.
He's also a sales representative for Rancho Safari, which is a company that, what do you think they do, Jimmy?
That sounds like a software company.
No, they distribute camouflage gear and archery equipment. Couldn't be further from a software company.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Rancho Safari should sell camouflage gear and archery equipment, but it sounds like something like a startup in Northern California.
Sure does.
Yeah. They do like some shit Theranos was trying to do. They're like, we have a blood sampling thing where we actually do that, but we clean your blood and then put it back in you, and then you're all better again. That's Rancho Safari. And we call it Rancho Safari. Yeah.
We take the blood we've got one IV in one arm, one IV in another, and we pump it out through filters and put it right back in.
Put it right back in. It's groundbreaking. You'll be amazed at it.
Takes all the HIV right out of your blood.
Our company, we started it 3 days ago, and it's worth $26 billion already. Did I mention I'm one of the richest people in the country now, even though we've just done nothing, and this is just an idea. Isn't that neat?
And my voice has changed in the middle of this conversation.
So I'm telling you, you really should invest in Rancho Safari, the greatest technology in blood cleaning, filtering, and reinsertion on the market today. And we're going to change the world. We're going to change it. For real. It's going to change. $25 billion right there. Boom.
If you need me, I'll be on my yacht.
Yep. And that, everybody, is our playlet entitled Startup America. Ta-da! There it is. Here's an idea that won't work. Awesome. Here's $30 billion. You're the smartest person ever. This person's worth $12 billion, and there's no fucking actual cash, and they haven't done anything yet. Isn't that amazing? Well, our company will change the world. Incredible. Crash, boom, pow, prison, lawyers, federal government. Oh, my goodness. We can't let that ever happen again. Hey, look at this person over here. You're the smartest person in the world. What are you up to? $8 billion. They have $8 billion. Isn't that amazing? Do a story on them. Stop.
Welcome to America.
Holy shit. It's a fucking revolving hamster wheel of these idiots, and I'm tired of it. God damn it. So anyway, if you haven't read about Theranos, you should.
It's crazy.
I read the book about them, and oh man, is that a wild story.
She's pregnant and thriving right now.
She should be thriving in a prison environment. She should be thriving tending to the prison garden or working I don't know, whatever the prison jobs are. She should be a model
inmate, for sure.
Yeah, inmate is the key thing there. So, Rancho Safari. So he's working on the side distributing camouflage gear and archery equipment, of course, because he's an IRA assassin /
ex-Marine.
Ex-Marine. So that's what he's going to do.
Once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine.
You're always a Marine, and we'll see that. Well, I don't know if they're going to want to claim him much after this. So now a year goes by with no contact. They're back in Shasta. Lynn and Todd aren't talking at all. So he's me and Carol, and I'm selling fencing and I'm selling camouflage and all that kind of shit. Then Lynn writes him a letter after about a year and says that she's getting married also.
Oh, that's
great.
So
there's that. What do you think of that? So I'm getting married. They remained in contact, but Lynn marries a man named Dean Noyes, Noyes. Noise. Let's call him Noise. Yeah. So Dean Noyes, that's a cool fucking name.
His name is No Yes?
No Yes, yes. Dean No Yes. I love it. Thank you for noticing that.
That's the best last name ever.
I go Noyes. No Yes. And I'm like, come on.
His name is No Yes.
I'm like pausing, like Noyes.
I want to meet him so
Notice
bad.
what that is, please. Dean No Yes.
His name is No Yes.
Dean, not too sure about it.
Dean maybe.
Dean maybe. Dean unsure. Dean
possibly.
Dean the Magic 8 Ball over here. My friends call me 8 Ball. Why is that? Well, my name's No Yes, maybe, possibly. Ask again later.
Also, it's fine to try again. I don't know.
Dean, try again, man. They call me. There's a lot of names. What is that? How many sides are on that thing? About 8? There's about 8 names for me.
I want him so bad to his friends call him 8 Ball. I want it
8
so
Ball.
bad.
You know they want him to call me 8 Ball. That's what they call me, buddy, 8 Ball. So, Dean, the walking magic 8 Ball over here.
No Yes.
No Yes. So... Now, while this is all going on, this happens before Dean and Carol move back and they're doing their not Dean, Todd. Yeah, Todd and Carol, when they move back to Shasta County, he worked for the fencing company and all that kind of shit. This is before that. She marries Todd and she marries Dean, Lynn does, and they become friends, the two couples. Okay? The two couples they become friends in the early 90s in Bend, Oregon. Oh, yeah. No, they become buddies. Carol and Lynn speak regularly together. They're friends. And, the whole deal. Now, the other thing about this is, according to Todd, that Lynn was, still trying to get with him this whole time. That she was with another guy and they were, hanging out as couples. She was still trying to get with him. But he, of course, discouraged the advances because, he's such a good guy at this point. So, anyway, Todd and Carol, when they moved back to Shasta County, they lived in Redding, California. And on weekends, he's going to travel to hunting equipment shows across the region for Rancho Safari, obviously. Yeah. And these trips take him to Oregon a lot, again. One of the trips was to Eugene, Oregon, there, with a friend of his who we'll talk about in a little while. And on this trip, he also hooked up with Lynn and met and hung out. And he claims they, of course, didn't have sex, though, because, that would be untoward. We can't have that. I mean, listen, I signed an agreement that I would represent Rancho Safari to the best possible ability and not besmirch their name at all. And I feel like extramarital affairs, I could put this camouflage company in bad public light. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. damage their reputation. Now, during all this, he's not making that great of money. Carol is the breadwinner here. She works at the Anderson Insurance Agency, and she brings home, actually pays all the bills and everything like that. Now, during this time, this whole time here, Todd is telling all of his friends that, yes, he has been in the Marines, obviously, and obviously he was in the IRA when he was a small child. That's clear. We know that for a fact. So,
yeah.
In addition to that, though, he is also currently a sniper for the federal government as well.
For Christ.
Did you know that federal government just has a whole sniper team they employ? Not like in a unit of a military thing or a police organization. They just have their own like bullpen of like just G snipers, you know, just G snipes they call them, and they just
they're generally regional salespeople for camouflage companies.
It's the best way because that way they have an excuse to be on the road and they already have camouflage, so no one's going to see them. It's perfect. He tells his friends that, it's a hassle. I mean, honestly, I don't even know why I signed up for this. It's a total hassle. I've had to participate in several assassinations already. Yeah. It's really getting to be a drag. I've had to go to South America. I've assassinated. I can't even count how many drug kingpins at this point. It's starting to get old, really.
Is that what he's telling people?
I'm telling. Yeah, I go down to South America to take out, drug kingpins, obviously, because this is the time when the whole Pablo Escobar thing is blowing up huge, and the governments are after him. So he's using this as like, they send me on these hit teams for, you know how it is. You've seen the news, obviously. So when you hear about somebody died, it's probably us, really, who did it. But shh, don't tell anybody.
The worst.
Hey, I could be next if you tell anybody. Seriously, this is heavy shit, man.
Jesus Christ. Don't put yourself in danger.
You know what? As a matter of fact, don't stand in front of the window right now. Seriously, don't stand in front of the window. I don't like this at all. No, I just saw a tree move out there. I know you have birds in the trees, but I don't like it. I think you don't know how we move, us government snipers. It could be one of them.
Asshole.
He's an asshole. He also told several people, including a prospective employer of his, that he had been a lieutenant in the Marines, not a lance corporal. There is a difference between a lance corporal and a lieutenant. Those are very different ranks.
Yeah.
Vast amount of difference in those ranks. So you not good to say that if you didn't actually do that. And he also falsely claimed. Now, Jimmy one time sort of said he was in the military to get like 46 cents off some Jack in the Box. Didn't even claim it. He just asked if they had a discount and they applied it. He didn't say I am in the military. And at the time, honestly, that 46 cents
so bad.
Yeah, this was when we went to South by Southwest. We were sharing a motel room in an awful, disgusting, dirty motel. We had like no gas money. All we ate was Subway from gas stations where we split these terrible sandwiches. That's all we were doing. So this 46 cents, we were treating ourselves to like $4 worth of Jack in the Box. We're like, we'll get some fries to sustain us through the night. That's how bad it was at the time. And
do you guys do a military discount? And they're like, we do. And then they just gave it to me.
They just gave it to him. All right. And he just took it. Now, that we're like, that's stolen valor. That's not cool. This man claimed he earned a Purple Heart.
Oh, God.
Which is a way different than getting 10% off some curly fries and a chicken thing. That was much different. A Purple Heart.
Purple Heart, you're qualified for all kinds of shit after that.
Oh, you're doing great. And a Navy Commendation as well, which is another award. So, he's medal. He displayed these medals in his house. So he went to some swap meet and bought some dead guy's family with crackhead kids that sold a Purple Heart to somebody for $4. Now he has it in his house. So some of these friends, a couple of them we'll talk about, kind of doubted it a little bit, but most of them believed him.
Yeah.
He talked a lot of shit. One longtime friend, he told, quote, one longtime friend said of him, quote, I believe he could sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo. So he's good at being full of shit. Okay. So Lynn, back to Lynn and Dean the Magic 8 Ball. They were married in 1992, but by 1995, Lynn and Todd were having a pretty regular affair by this point. They would just hotels all throughout Oregon.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You know how it is with Rancho Sierra. You're always on the road, so He had a lot of opportunity to do this. He wrote her love letters and poems.
Oh, boy.
Poems. He called her Maliki, Maliki, which is his word for angel. I don't know if he made it up.
Made it up?
Because that sounds like it's from the Hawaiian Christmas song.
Yeah, like Imaka is.
Yeah.
Her name's Mary, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. It's his word for angel. So there you go. They also had matching necklaces that they wore, like the Celtic cross deal that they had matching around their necks here. Lynn purchased them while in high school as a symbol of their love for each other. And in 1996, 10 years later, they're wearing them still.
Wow.
These matching. They're both married to other people. They live in different states, but they have their souls are connected, Jimmy, by the necklace. So this is so stupid. Now, 1996, 1997, this time period here. He and Carol are in Shasta County. Now, he tells his friend, Todd does, his friend's name is Dale Gordon. Dale Gordon's a moron. We'll talk all about Dale. Dale Gordon he's a fucking whack job, this guy. Wait till you hear this guy later on. These people, every time I look at one of these people, I'm like, oh, God, this is going to be great. Wait till you hear this. It's so crazy. So he tells his friend Dale Gordon that, yes, I am, don't tell anybody, but I am a paid assassin. Right. This time he doesn't tell him, though. He doesn't work for the government. He doesn't tell Dale. No. He works. Well, no, it's organized, though. He's not like a lone hitman. Doesn't have like a startup business of his own, like John Cusack and Grosse Pointe Blank or any shit like that. He says he works for a company. He's just just like any other Fortune 500. He went to HR. He filled out an application, but it is an organization called, quote, The Company.
Oh.
And they're just an organization of hitmen. Okay. And it's just it's very organized, highest levels of everything, and it's all
we have team meetings.
It's all, ex special forces, blah 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 blah, and the top mafia. You got a quota, and it's good for you, your quota, because that means you're going to make money every month. Right. Otherwise, you could go months without a hit. Then what?
But if you don't hit numbers this month, you guys, the president's going to be pissed.
Yeah, you're going to get a worse territory. They're going to send you to like Wichita, and then you're fucked. Then what?
Because BTK's killing it out there.
Yeah, he's already got that covered, so then what happens? So he tells Dale Gordon, he starts talking to Dale, saying, listen, this is what we need to do here. Me and you, especially you, by the way, not really much me, but mostly you need to do a hit. It's an assassination from the company. They need this done, and you're gonna get paid for it. Don't worry, but you're gonna participate in this hit, Dale Gordon. Well, who are we killing? Lynn, her husband Dean, the Magic 8-Ball. We're knocking We're knocking off. Maybe, possibly, try back again later. We're knocking him off.
No,
that's the plan. That's the plan. Hey, you know what?
No. We're
cogs in the machine of the company, Jimmy. What are we supposed to do when the company says someone's got to go? They got to go.
That's
it.
Yeah,
it's worse than the mafia. I'm telling you, it's rough here, man. So they start talking about this. Oh, don't worry. It's not like it's going to happen this weekend.
Okay.
They talk about it for about a year and a half. They just keep talking about it like this company does not have a lot of good organization. You'd think somebody would be checking up on that work order after a while, right? You would think.
It's really in the red around here if we're waiting all this time to make a sale.
It's a slow-moving type of thing. We're still making money off 1994's killings right now. So they talked about it, as Gordon said, at least 50 times, maybe 100 times. Pretty much whenever they hung out, they'd be like, well, yeah, I got to kill that guy. It was like did you see the Yankee game or whatever? Like whatever you and your friend, how you have a bunch of friends and you have subjects that you can talk about with them, and you're like, oh, this friend is sports and this friend is the comedy and that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you find a friend where you can talk about like more than 3 subjects, that's when you have a friendship, like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when you have a best friend. Otherwise, it's just you have these compartmentalized friends, and this was their thing they talked about.
The murder thing.
Was that murder thing. Have a couple beers, talk about the murder. What do you say?
Oh, boy.
So Todd tells Todd said that, listen, you will be paid, Dale Gordon, $25,000 for a murder like this. Not any chump change here. No. You know, that's in the might not be a cop territory if we're from our thing that we always talk about here. And he didn't agree. He didn't say that's a fine amount, but they said it would work out anyway. They said there's a life insurance policy and plus the company, and you'll be taken care of. Don't worry about it.
Dale's such a dummy. He doesn't go, how does the company get paid by the life insurance?
It doesn't matter. They want him dead also. Well, he does ask that question at one point, and Todd just tells him, well, he was also embezzling money from somebody, so that company is also paying the company too. So everybody's in it together. Dean needs to go, period. This is how the world works, Dale. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. You have your head in the sand over here, playing with your Teddy Ruxpin, not realizing that this is the way the real world works, but it is.
It's all murder all the time. Here we go.
All murder. And everyone's killing everybody and paying everybody. So they lead this whole thing is this is crazy. Dale Gordon said he and Todd, holy shit, they were practicing, murder. They had a gun with a silencer, and they were practicing using the gun with the silencer, all right?
Target practice?
So, yeah, sort of. Okay. So this is all murder preparation, you could call this. They tested these guns out, and we'll tell you how in a minute. They also destroyed Todd's Ford Bronco in order to cash in on his insurance to fund this endeavor. Obviously, the company doesn't pay up front. You put it up, and then you turn in your expenses at the end of the month, and then they cut you a check. Obviously, this is. Yeah, it's corporate America. What do you want? It's got to go through accounting. Like, we can't just cut a check.
Okay, and one Ford Ranger.
They're like, you had 2 appetizers at Chili's. What the fuck? I realize this is murder and everything, but just get some potato skins and move on. This is crazy. You can't
wasn't even happy hour. You paid full price.
You're paying full price. If it's happy hour, get 2. But if it's 7:30, I'm sorry.
You get the
one appetizer
or the cheese sticks. You make a choice.
What happened to spinach dip? Fine, just that then. One appetizer, no alcohol. I'm sorry, those margaritas are like $7. That's how they get you. So no.
It's on the company. You don't buy alcohol. You son of a bitch.
The company rules.
Just this one time. So 1 Ford Ranger and 2 appetizers.
It's fine. 2 appetizers. Never again. In addition to that,
1 Ford Ranger.
1 Ford Ranger and 1 egg roll and spinach dip. There we go. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good terrific step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Now, to practice with the silencer, because I had to practice with the silencer, in order to do that, they, as Dale Gordon put it, he and Todd, quote, killed every cat in the neighborhood.
That's fucked up, man.
That's a sick, crazy serial killer thing to do. So they went around every cat in the neighborhood practicing with the silencer, killing these cats. Have they ever heard of a can, maybe?
I mean, if it's a silencer, go down in your basement and shoot at something. It's silenced, for Christ's sake.
I don't know if it's because cats would be hard to shoot, I'd imagine, because they're small and shifty. So if you can shoot a cat, you can shoot a person pretty. I don't understand that, but that's sick. That's fucking sick. So
makes my skin crawl.
That's sick even for this show. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's something. So 1997 comes along. In spring of 1997, Todd tells Lynn, look, Lynn, we need to talk, okay? You know your husband, Dean? He's having an affair on you.
Oh.
You know that? Did you know that? He's having an affair. Yeah. He's been fucking around. He's a bad guy, Lynn. Yeah. He's a bad guy. I can understand you're hurt, obviously, right? You're hurt. You're crying. You're hurt. I'd like to comfort you, and so let me offer you a service. Quote, I know a few people who could take him out if you want. Yeah. So he's cheating on you. Would you like to kill him? Is what he proposes to her.
Wait till you find out about your cat.
Where do you find? Yeah. You notice a lack of cat in the neighborhood? There's a reason for that. So now later on in that year, Lynn actually receives a call from the husband of the woman with whom Dean is cheating on her with. Okay. Uh-huh. Now, when confronted, she confronts Dean about it. And at first, when I read this, I'm like, oh, this is probably Todd faking this shit. Right, you know, he's like, I'm so-and-so. Right. I'm with the company. Instead, he says it's actually true. She confronts Dean, and he says, yes, I did have an affair, actually. So it's true. So I don't know. We don't know if Todd was just saying this.
Guessing? Yeah.
Full of shit, and it just happened to be that he was having an affair. Just like just a
lucky-ass guess.
Threw a dart out the window and hit the right target type of deal, but that's what happened, basically.
Perfect shot.
So it's at that point, Lynn tells Todd, okay, go ahead and have him killed. Go ahead and take him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, do that. She says, listen, Todd, Dean's going to be taking a trip to San Francisco in the future, and, maybe do it there. She also sent Todd a box with keys to their cars, to Dean and her cars, also the keys to their home in Gresham, Oregon, pictures of Dean, and information about where he usually parked and went after work.
You've got a relationship where you have two homes.
Yeah.
Just divorce the man and take half. What the fuck?
Do something. Yeah, nope. They're gonna. She wants to have him dead, and she even explained she figured it would be easier this way than it'd be more of a pain in the ass on the kids. She figured to have a big custody thing and all that. This way, if she killed him, there's some life insurance, and the kids could be taken care of, and her life would be easy. So,
oh my god,
so much easier to kill than divorce is her plan. So, he at this point, Todd begins discussing real plans, putting into play real plans to kill Dean, and brings in another fella into the mix here.
Okay, who's that?
Norman Gerald Daniels III.
Norman Gerald Daniels III.
the third, who's also a complete jerk-off, by the way. He's not as regal as he sounds by his name, by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
So they met in 1993 at a Shasta College computer lab. I guess they were taking classes, and they realized they'd both been in the military, so they became friends. Obviously, this guy, he doesn't have the extensive background of Todd with his high-level assassinations and bombings and such, but taking out drug kingpins.
Lieutenant Todd.
But in 1997, they ran into each other again, just by chance, because Daniels was working at the, quote, by the way, the first word is spelled Kikin, okay? Kickin'. The Kickin' Mule Mini Mart in Anderson, California. That's where he's working in his late 20s.
Corporate so didn't even realize that was spelled wrong.
The Kickin' Mule Mart. That's where this Norman Gerald Daniels III is working. So Norman's, wow, this is crazy. So Todd tells Norman that, listen, I'm an assassin for the Irish Republican Army. Right. In case you didn't know that. Just going to let you know. And you, sir, former military guy, erudite, smart, fucking worldly man such as yourself working the Kickin' Mule Mart, you could make a lot of money if you joined up with our ranks and became an assassin like me. It's pretty cool. Who doesn't want to do that? So he boasted of, at that point, Todd said, oh, yeah, I've done it all with these IRA guys. I killed English soldiers in Ireland with other members of the IRA. We blew those guys up. He said that what there is it's a whole network. It's like, there's the different social networks. He said there's a woman in New York named Sasha. That's all we know. Her name is Sasha. She said, no, she doesn't give her last name out, obviously. Jesus. Now, Sasha is what he would call an information broker who trades information on the black market and assigned hits for this underground operation. She's like a placement specialist. She's an underground headhunter, essentially. She's going around matching hits with hitmen. Okay. Like we have an order for a hit in Portland. Who do we have in Portland? Oh, Todd's there? Good. Put Todd on the Portland and then put the San Diego. Give that to this other guy. That's what they're doing. There's an office with a... Yeah. That's Sasha, okay? That's what she does for a living. So, holy
pretty
shit.
Sweet gig.
It's easy, I guess. You don't have to do it all. Now, Todd also tells Daniels here, what's his name? Norman Daniels, tells Daniels that he was sent on covert operations in South America with orders from the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, to assassinate drug dealers, of course. He said that, don't worry, though, if you come on with me, it's not like you can get in trouble. I understand your apprehension of can't go around killing people, but people in the CIA, the highest levels of the CIA, you can't tell everybody about it, but the highest people in the CIA protect me and, my group. So if you join us, you'll be protected as well. And he even says, here's my Purple Heart, so you can see how, I'm brave, obviously. Here, I earned this while I was a lieutenant in the Marines. Yeah. So none of what he's saying is true. Nothing. There's not a fucking thing here that he's a fence salesman who sells camouflage to people in fucking tents in a field on the weekends. That's what he does.
Probably never met a single person named Sasha.
No, he met a guy with an Irish accent once, and it gave him an idea. That's what happened. He heard Bono talk, and he was like, you know what? There's something here.
Sunday Bloody Sunday.
And he's like, I'm a part of that. I did it all.
I see my future.
I see it now. Now, Todd also says that there are several contracts on Dean's head. So, so many people want him dead, you have to get in there and get him so you can get the money before someone else gets it.
It's like Cannonball Run.
It's to say, they're bumping into each other, these assassins, to get to him. They both pop up in the same room. They can't get through the door together. They're both stuck in it. Both of them have like guns with silencers in their offhand. Hey, get back! No, it's mine. No, you son of a bitch, it's mine. Well, we'll split the money. Okay. So several, he said, because Dean embezzled money, and that so Norman Daniels agreed to, okay, I'll go with you and Gordon there, and I'll provide support for the plan. Yeah. And if you're just a support guy, Todd tells Norman here that I'll give you $1,000 after Lynn receives Dean's life insurance payment if you participate in this whole thing, okay?
I can't believe that was never a movie, James. A Cannonball Run style contract for hire.
There has been that, though.
Is
has been that.
It's
yeah,
gotta
there's
be,
been
right?
Late 80s, early 90s. There was a couple
I could
movies
see
like that with
being
bumbling, you know, I see. What was that one?
One guy that doesn't know that he's about to be murdered, and there's like 60 people trying to kill him.
There's like a bunch of two-person teams. Yeah. And they're like arguing. One's got like, they just had to sleep in a barn last night with a dress shirt on. They wake up with like hay in their hair with the over-the-shoulder holster.
Does that exist?
I think it does from the early 90s.
We just wrote it.
And and it should have been made 30 years ago because it wouldn't work now. It's too cheesy now.
Yeah.
But in 91, that would have been sweet.
That'd have crushed.
Crush it.
That would have rivaled Teen Wolf at the box office.
I do like the Stephen King fucking Dorian Gray story. I do enjoy that of like the whole the vanity and the every time you tell a lie you lose.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I like that whole
We've
that whole
written 2
thing
movies
there.
in the
That's
past.
not bad. It's pretty good
hour
stuff.
15.
Well, one already should have been written. One lives in the past, and one Stephen King. If you're listening, you can have it. How's that?
That's yours.
It's all yours, Chief. I know you're probably searching for ideas. You look through your emails looking for something, anything to come up, because I know the writer's block's obviously a problem for you.
Yeah.
You've only written 600 books in the last 12 years.
Throw that one in. We'll write the forward.
It's all good. Yeah, just give us some credit. So October 1997 here. By the way, initial plan. Their initial plan for the murder is Todd plans to kill Dean in San Francisco while Dean's attending a conference. Okay. That's what he's going to do. He discusses this plan with Gordon and Daniels, his 2 idiot henchmen, and the trip ends up being canceled, and they never follow up on that plan. So it was a plan, but it didn't work.
Away. Yeah.
Throw it away. Okay. Now, October 1997, right around this time, Carol, Todd's wife, remember her? Remember poor Carol? Carol, we discover that Carol is pregnant at this point.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Todd tells everybody, by the way, for years that he doesn't like children very much. He thinks children are a pain in the ass who will take away from his freedom. He then told people that he did not want the child and that it was not his. Now, I was just going to say, he's not wrong now for feeling this way. I get why you feel this way. But then you have to go, and then you love your kids and you do your thing. Right. Obviously, at first, you feel like, oh, my God, my life is over. But then it's not. And then it is again. And then it's not for a while.
When
and,
it's not planned. Even when it is planned, it feels that way.
Yeah, it does. No, but he's not thrilled with it, basically, is the deal here. Now, a few months later, after she's coming along, Todd and Carol apply for life insurance, and Carol is approved for a policy of $125,000.
Okay.
So Todd is the primary beneficiary, obviously. This is with a child, you do this, so you make sure that the kid and the other party are taken care of. So, next plan to kill Dean. Okay, here it is. Now, this is Gordon now and Todd. Todd and Gordon, they begin to, not the other guy, not Daniels, Gordon. They begin planning to murder Dean in Oregon at his home or possibly where he works. Either way, they're flexible. We're flexible here. They tell the Daniels guy, the other moron, that they're going to travel to Portland in October 1997 to scout the area. Okay, we're going to scout it out. On October 10th, 1997, Todd and Gordon rent hotel rooms in a hotel in Portland. Okay, they're scoping it all out. That afternoon, they went to Lynn and Dean's home in Gresham and walked through the house while Lynn was there. Like, she showed them around so they know the lay of the land. If they're going to kill this guy, they can't be like, where's the back door? We have to know where we're going. So there, Todd draws a sketch of the house and how it's laid out inside and all of that. And later, Todd and Gordon drive by Dean's workplace in downtown Portland. All right. So that night, Lynn and Todd fuck in a hotel room as well. So full on, this whole thing's going. Cut to January 3rd, 1998 at this point. Now, January 3rd, 1998, Todd and Gordon, his buddy Gordon there, they return to Oregon. They stay in a hotel in Eugene where they meet up with Lynn. Obviously, Todd and Lynn fuck. They talk to Lynn about killing Dean, and they show her several guns and knives, as well as ammunition. I don't know if she's got to pick out the one that looks the most like she'd like it to happen to him or what, but I'm not sure. And also like additional magazines for for rounds, and handcuffs, latex gloves, a first aid kit, all this shit.
Just in case we hurt ourselves.
I don't know. Yeah, just in case we change our minds midway through and try to remove the bullet from him and sew up the wound. You never know. We're not sure. But he had been told, Todd told Gordon that they were doing this to, quote, show Lynn that we're really going to do this. Mm-hmm. We're here in Oregon. We have weapons. It's fucking go time. Mm-hmm. So they do have sex, Lynn and Todd. They spend the night in the room together, then they go their separate ways. Now, maybe this is just what gets them primed to fuck. You ever think of that?
It's possible. Yeah.
Maybe just like talking about dirty, weird murder shit. Like, we're going to kill him, right? Yeah, maybe that's how they get off. And then afterwards, they're like, all right, never mind. That's crazy, obviously. We're not going to do that. You know?
It's real tiring to fuck. It really is.
That was a lot, and I'm kind of hungry now, so never mind. Who knows? Just talk about it and come hard and move on. You don't need to you don't need to follow through on this shit.
Yeah.
So late January or early February 1998 here. Now we have Todd, Gordon, and Daniels here. The three idiot amigos. The three moron amigos here. They meet at the Moose Lodge in Anderson, California. Where all the best plots are hatched. The Moose Lodge.
There's a lot of assassins there, I imagine. Weren't they all in the military?
I picture them wearing the hats with the moose things on them, like old time, and they're talking seriously with serious looks on their faces while the moose things are on their head, and it's making me laugh. So they discuss two plans. First, maybe we'll try to kill Dean at his workplace, and if we can't do that, we'll just enter the house. We have the keys, and we'll shoot him there. Fuck him, you know? I mean, if the Menendez brothers can do it, why not us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can do it. Sitting in a living room, how hard is that? So they also, here, Todd discusses plans to pay these two at that time for their roles in the killings as well. They discuss numbers and shit like that. February 6th, 1998, they drive to Oregon. The three fucking dipshit amigos here drive to Florida. They bring a variety of guns, a silencer, walkie-talkies and shit so they can talk to each other. A whole, like, they're going on like a South American drug kingpin hunting trip is what it looks like. Handcuffs, latex gloves, the whole hit kit. So they get to Gresham, they check into a motel, stash the equipment in their room. Then they drive to a parking garage near Dean's workplace where they plan to kill him the next day. They're like, all right, here it is. We'll scope it out. The next morning, these three morons get up early and drive to the parking lot to await Dean's arrival.
Yes.
But Dean never shows up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did Dean go?
Well, unbeknownst to Todd, Lynn got cold feet here at the last minute, and Lynn told Dean to drive their other car, which is too big to fit into a space in this garage. She said, I need that car for this. You take that car, knowing that he wouldn't park in that garage and they wouldn't be able to kill him at that point. So she saved Dean's life by sabotaging it at that point. So these three fucking complete dinguses sat in this garage waiting for him, and it never happened. So
hilarious.
They then realized he must have parked somewhere else. I don't know, probably after 4 or 5 hours of staring at each other, wiping drool off each other's chin. Then they left and checked into a different hotel for some reason. I don't know why, but later on that night, Todd will shoot a rifle out of his hotel window into a deserted field. Just a buck, buck, bitches. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to let off some steam. That's how he's chosen to do it.
His finger's itchy. I don't know what to do.
I don't know. So that later on that afternoon, the next day comes around. Lynn comes to the hotel. And she's like, listen, Todd, we got to abandon ship on this plan. No good. It's too late to do this. And, why are we doing this? And Todd goes, oh, we have to do it now. The wheels are in motion. Can't stop.
He's going to be pissed. I got expenses.
Can't stop, won't stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got a crew here I have to pay. What are we talking about here? So, he said, well, we'll try to kill him this evening, but we're going to kill him. So sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
So later on, She's like, all right, well, I guess if you got to do it, you got to do it. And she leaves.
I mean, you can't tell a guy that's building a fence after the footing's been poured to stop. You got to build the fence.
The posts are in. What do you want? Just a bunch of posts around or a fence now?
I got rebar sticking out of concrete. It's going up.
The kid's going to impale himself on this if we don't start doing something. So she later on that day called Todd and said she'll try to get Dean and his brother out of the house so that, the killing won't occur in the home. I'll try to get them out of the house. I'll tell you where they're going. You can go kill them somewhere else. Yeah. I don't want blood on my carpet. My kids, Yeah. You know how it goes. So that night, Todd, Gordon, and Daniels, this triumvirate of IQ, fucking top IQ people.
My three dumbs.
Yeah. My three fucking numbskulls here. They leave the hotel and they park near the residence of Dean and Lynn. They're all armed. All three of these fucking morons are all armed. The three cretins here. They approach the house and Todd goes to the front door to try to open it, but he can't open it. I don't know if he's got the wrong key or what the deal is. So he's all ready. He's a total hitman, ready to go. He's an international assassin. Problem with the key, so they all run back to the car. Imagine these three grown men morons in all their gear playing dress up, all of their dress up horse shit. Fucking
a key and a lock foils their shit.
They all go to the door. Shh, come on, shut up. We're going to do it. It won't work. Run. And then they run away. Like three children who rang the doorbell.
Who runs first, the guy in the back or the guy holding the keys? Probably the guy holding the keys, right?
They don't work. Run. He's the guy. Yeah, he's waving them. Like, come on, follow me. Let's go. Run.
Pointing at eyes and holding up two fingers and waving different directions.
Oh, he did that. He was like, he held a fist up and then turned it the other direction. And then lowered his arm and they all went in one direction. And he did a one finger up, then two. And they all doing bicycle turning hand signals and that's what happened in this thing.
Military operation. Can't get past
eye black. Eye black under their eyes,
yes.
Totally. Yeah. Get night vision on and shit, glasses, goggles. So
stand fast.
These morons run away and they go back to their hotel. And then in the morning they go back to California. So they just that was a failure. Thwarted easily. Now,
thwarted by quicksand.
Just didn't work.
What happened?
Thwarted.
They got a Schlage.
It's a Schlage. This is a quickset. They don't match. They don't match up. It's not. It's a quickset. It's not going to work. Fuck it. Abort. This is absolutely asinine. This is the dumbest thing ever. So they get home and they're like, rather than go, okay, let's stop. This is stupid. They're like, all right, new plan. These fucking idiots. So at that time, Lynn thought Dean was embezzling money from his employer. That's what she said. She thought he was making too much money. So Todd planned to use this information to extort Dean.
Yeah.
Then, once he got some money out of Dean, then kill Dean once he's been extorted to his maximum. That's the plan here. So make a trail of communication between the two of you, then kill him. That's the smart thing to do.
Right. But also, that's the craziest complaint a wife has ever made about a husband.
He's embezzling. Yeah, he's making too much money.
He's making too much money.
There's a problem. He's doing something. So he's going to do this. So he returns to Gresham, Todd does, in May 1998. With Lynn's assistance, they stage a break-in of the home of Dean and of the No Yes residence, okay? Yeah. They take a planner, like an electronic planner, one of those 90s deals, a laptop, which must have weighed, 30, 40 pounds back then. That was going to weigh you down.
It has a backpack.
It's got a backpack and some computer disks and equipment. So... That's what he takes. They make to set the stage if this place gets robbed.
Right.
So it's dangerous here. So now Todd also planned to kill Dean on this trip if the opportunity arose as well. I mean, I'll come and do the initial whatever, but if he pops up, I'll kill him, obviously. So following the staged break-in, Todd calls Daniels, his buddy there, and his compadre in stupidity, and he calls him in the hotel room, and he says, do me a favor. Send me an anonymous email insinuating that someone knew, or send Dean an anonymous email, okay, telling Dean that someone knows he's embezzling and threatened to harm his children if he doesn't cooperate.
Jesus.
Well, tell your boss and harm your children, okay? So Daniels does that. So Dean receives several cryptic messages from the same anonymous email address. And by the way, Todd's computer will have evidence of all of this, that he's accessed the accounts, which emails were sent, because I don't think in 1998 people that didn't know shit about computers knew that even if you erase something, it's still there, with the right people looking. So I don't think he knew that.
And now with a 12-year-old looking.
Now with a 12-year-old, anybody can see that shit. And people still don't know that.
Right.
You can't erase things? Shit.
No.
I mean, that's how BTK got caught, for fuck's sake. So he continues, Todd does, to continue to discuss the possibility of murdering Dean with Lynn after sending these emails and all this type of shit. So this goes on. Now, there is a guy who thinks that Todd's full of shit. Oh. It's a guy named Charles Hawkins, old Chuck Hawkins, who sounds, I'm Chuck Hawkins. I'm Chuck, and there's the word Hawk in my name. Yeah. I'm very tough. They were on the same bow hunting team.
Oh.
Todd and Chuck are on the same bow hunting team. And he says that he would often ignore the bullshit that Todd said. He said, quote, I just pretty much knew he was full of shit. Just in general, he has a long line of BS he leaves out there, and I didn't want to listen to it. I love this guy. Yeah. That's the worst when somebody does that. Todd had told this guy that he's a paid assassin. He was a sniper in the Marines. Now he's a sniper. Now he's not a lieutenant with a Purple Heart. He's a sniper. And all of that type of shit. So while they believed in this guy was like, no, this guy said, quote, they said, well, why didn't you believe he was a sniper and all the things he said? He said, quote, because of the shape he was in. It would be like me saying that I just got out of being a Marine sniper. He was overweight, probably 40 pounds. Didn't look like a Marine sniper to me. Yeah. You don't see a lot of sloppy snipers out there. They usually keep pretty trim, I think, most of those guys.
I know a guy, James, in his 50s that's retired from the Marines that was a sniper, still looks amazing.
They keep in good shape. They want to keep their breathing at a certain, be able to pace it and do all that. Yeah. There's a certain, you can't have like a, I just had Jack in the Box at 3 a.m. last night, wheeze and keep your, there's a rhythmic breathing to snipers that I've seen a thing on it. It's a whole thing that you have to do, or else, I mean, we're that far away. Any movement at all sends the shit 100 yards off in the wrong direction.
You're trying to put a bullet in somebody's head from a mile away. You have to be steady.
Perfect. So during this whole time, Todd, I don't know where he finds time for all this shit. He's also been a volunteer youth soccer coach for a whole season during all this. Kids can't make the game this weekend. I have some company murder, assassin plot stuff going on I got to deal with, but we'll be back to play the ladybugs later. Don't worry about it.
I got to reconcile this week's expenses.
Yeah, you know how it is. I got a CHR. It's a lot. He attended a childbirth class with Carol, not one class, but a class that they went back to a whole bunch. He admitted that at first he was being forced to go, but everybody said, including the instructor, that he became an active participant in the class and tried hard.
Yeah.
He learned that the child would be a boy.
Oh.
They found out it's going to be a boy, so they named him. He named him Jesse.
Uh-huh.
There you go, no. Jesse Garton. There you go. Named him Jesse.
What year?
97, way younger than him, and bought him a rifle.
Oh my God, 2 Jesse Gartons in this story.
They were going to call him Jesse James, and then he bought him a rifle as well. He's not even born yet, and he's already got a rifle. Interesting. So early April 1998. Okay, this is this is a couple months after the 3 morons drove to Oregon to murder Dean. It didn't quite work out. He explains, all this type of shit. He said that, listen, Daniels, if you want to be part of the company, I know the Dean thing didn't work out, but you're going to have to fulfill a contract to be a part of this deal if you want to be a part of it. And Dean's like, well, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
He said you're going to have to complete 1 assassination. This sounds like a timeshare pitch is what it sounds like. Or like, you know what I mean? A multi-level marketing timeshare deal. He says you complete 1 assassination, then you get 2 free later. No, then... He says you become a member of the company.
Right.
And once you're a member, membership has its privileges. He's just giving mottos of bullshit. He says, if you agree to do this, the company will send you a package revealing your target. Uh-huh. You'll just get a package in the mail and you'll get your target. And Todd says, listen, Now that you're going to be in the company, you got to know some things. We have code names. Okay. My code name is Patriot. Patriot. No one else took that before me. I was surprised. When I looked for the email address, I was like, patriot@thecompany.com. Amazing. I didn't think they'd have it. Figured that'd be the first thing to go. Yeah. I was super surprised. I thought I'd have to be like Patriot 12. You know what I mean? Patriot 25 at the company.com. I really assumed it
was going to be 3 numbers at the end.
It's something like that. So he says that here's my business card, and on the business card it says Patriot. Todd has business cards made up. And he also on the Patriot business card is Todd's pager number. This is the Patriots card, otherwise known as Todd's beeper number. Is
it not called the Patriot?
Cool. The Patriot. The Patriot me. So later that month, they bought Daniels and Todd bought a handgun, cleaning equipment, a holster, 2 boxes of ammunition. And then Todd advised Daniels what gun to buy. Then Todd paid for it, gave Daniels the holster for it, and he says, I'll help you, with whatever you're doing here. Yeah. I'll help you with your plan. I'll help you become a member here. I got to sponsor you. It's like you're going to be on my downline, so I need to.
Every money you make goes up.
It's an assassin pyramid scheme, like we had a vampire pyramid scheme with the Pocket Robin episode. This is like an assassin pyramid scheme. Come on, 2 more hitmen. I'm a trainer level. They send me a cool watch, and I get way more commissions. Come on, man.
I'm shocked. This is the first time we've heard of this in just like regular ass hits.
I know, right? We've never had this level of crazy before. And I guess this is the gun Daniels is supposed to use for the murder. Now, April 27th, 1998, Todd bought a label maker, label tape cartridges, a manila envelope, and a pager. Okay, that he bought all that stuff that day. Yep. We have records of it. That night, he delivered the, quote, Target package to Daniels. Here's the Target package. The package was in a manila envelope with a label on it, and it had a wax seal with an imprint that Daniels thought resembled a trinket that that Todd had up in his office. It looked like he pressed it into the thing, and made it. This is the official seal of the company.
Seal, yes, that says Mattel.
So there's a copyright date on it.
It's the chest plate of a Thundercat.
That's what. From last week. Oh my God. So. As Jesus Christ, as Daniels opens the envelope, Todd says, keep in mind before you break that wax seal, if you opened it once that seal is cracked, you either carried out the assigned killing or be killed yourself.
There you go.
And that's the whole thing. That's the plot. There's rules. There is an HR department. There's a lot of, they have a company whole manifesto they set out. Now, the package contained a pager, some photographs, and some newspaper and magazine excerpts about the IRA for some reason, the Irish Republican Army. Okay, so all 3 photographs depicted his target, who is
Dean.
Carol.
What?
8-month pregnant Carol is the target.
You have to be shitting me.
That's the deal. On one of the back of one of the pictures contain information about Todd and Carol, along with a time frame in which the murder has to take place and other instructions.
Oh my God.
So Todd looked over the package contents with Daniels, and Daniels was upset.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh man. And Daniels said Todd looked upset, like, oh my God, it's my wife in this package. That's what he said. He said he put his head in his hands. He's like, it's my wife. They want my wife to be killed. It's like a test that I have to pass, that if I don't assign the hit of my wife, then I'll be killed. Oh, my God, the company. Why did I get so twisted up with such people? The company.
Why didn't I just stay in the Marines career? Why did I do this?
Why didn't I just stay in the Irish Republican Army? Why didn't I stay in the IRA when I was a wee boy? I was only 12. I could have been a general by now. My God, not Carol. That's what he did, really, seriously. This is so silly.
And Norman, what did he do?
Well, Daniels said, I can't do this. He goes, I can't kill your pregnant wife. This is fucking crazy. I know this. I know her. This is bonkers. What the fuck are we talking about here? I'm not doing this. So he said, can you call someone and have him change the target? Just switch it.
Is there a number?
I'll meet a guy at a 7-Eleven. We'll trade envelopes. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
Number? Who do we call?
Yeah, who do we call? You have no idea. It's just like the internet. Who do I call if there's a problem? So Todd picked up the phone and started dialing. Didn't even look up a number. Picked it up and like beep boop boop beep, boop, boop, like started fucking like he knew it was a off the top of his head, bro. Oh God. I'm laughing so hard I'm gonna have a stroke.
That's a genius liar move.
Well, it gets even better because at some point, rather than have a pretend phone conversation, he types in like 6 numbers.
Hold on, I'm gonna get the COO on the note. This is bullshit.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'll get Sasha on the line. She'll know what to do here. Sasha's gonna fix
Director of
this.
Operations now.
Come on, Sasha, put me through. Jesus Christ.
We opened an envelope. It's my wife, Sasha.
I don't care if he's in a meeting. This is my wife. God damn it.
I can't believe you picked up the phone.
I swear on my purple heart I'm getting this fixed. I swear on every man who I commanded in the Marine Corps, every man that served under me as a lieutenant.
This is the best story ever.
So...
Holy shit.
So...
Daniels, what's he do?
He does about 6 numbers where he's beep, boop, 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 but then he stops, has an idea. Todd hangs up the phone and says, well, you know what? At least it's not me. That's what he says.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you to kill me, so I'm not going to have them because they're going to be mad at me now.
Yeah.
So then Todd explains that, listen, I have to tell you some things, my friend, that you don't know about. This is what it is. And because you're thinking Carol's this nice pregnant woman who works for an insurance agency, just this nice average lady. But in reality, what you don't know about Carol is she used to be a member of the IRA as well. Uh-huh. She was a member of the Irish Republican Army. This high school girl from Oregon who I met was a member of the Irish Republican Army. Right. And she would, her cheerleader gig was it was a cover. That's all it was. Right. In Ireland, you can just send an American cheerleader. They just blend right in over there. It's like a Shriner hit in New York City in the 70s. So he said that she's also worked with the company as well. She's an assassin. I know you didn't know that, but we're an assassin couple. That's the thing. So, it's
Undercover Blues.
Yeah, we're like, what's that fucking stupid movie where there is a dumb shit movie about
Undercover Blues.
Yeah, there's a different one, another dumb one where they tried to be, I don't remember. Anyway, moving on. It's dumb.
The one with Angelina Jolie, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And Brad Pitt. That's one of them.
Brad Pitt.
Yep.
There you go.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones or
Mr. and
whatever?
Mrs. Smith.
There it is.
There it is. Thank you. I never saw it, but I know that's the plot from the trailer. So anyway, there's that much. We are actually Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This is right around the time this movie came out, too.
Yeah.
This is late 90s. This is ridiculous. So he's just using movie plots. I don't know if he read Variety, saw with the upcoming movies. Oh, they're making a movie. Universal's making a movie about, that's a good idea. Hey, I'm going to tell someone this shit. So he said that but she betrayed the group.
Yeah.
And now she's obviously, clearly, by this envelope, being targeted for retribution. And this is, I know I'm married to her, but the company is above all of this. I can't, So Todd tells Daniels, listen, destroy these photographs and documents, but keep the imprinted wax seal so they know. Right. That way you show that to like a CIA guy in case you get in trouble, and they'll know that you're part of the company and they'll let you out.
And you opened an envelope, obviously.
Clearly. So that means that. After the meeting, Todd tells Daniels that Daniels should receive an introductory email from the company. Like he joined a 24-hour fitness. What the fuck is that? With the spa policies and when the basketball court's open. What are we wipe down the gym equipment when you're done? What the fuck are you talking about? It's an international assassin group that sends an introductory email.
You'll get all the orientation packets sent to your email.
What the fuck is going on?
It'll explain all your 401k options. We'll get you there.
Oh my God. Dan, because he said you should have already received this, and he said, Daniel said, oh, well, I would have thought it was spam and probably deleted it already. Yeah. I wouldn't have known what that is.
Right.
So Todd goes, oh, Jesus, I got to have the company resend it to you now.
Yeah.
God, they don't like resending the introductory email. They hate it. You understand? You got to be ready for it. He said, fine, no, you didn't know. So on May 6th, 1998, Daniels receives an introductory email from the email address. This is amazing. Quote, companyt@usa.net.
Company T.
The company at USA.net. So it welcomed him to the organization.
Welcome to the company.
Thank you for joining the company. Yeah. It'll tell you all about your 401k package and your stock options.
3 tiers of insurance. You can pick whatever fits your needs.
You know what? Whatever you need. By the way, you're going to have to fill out the tax forms. We need to find out what you're claiming, how many dependents and all that. It's a company policy. It also informed him on how he would receive coded messages and, how to interpret them, explaining that some of them would be assigned, someone also will be assigned to follow him and make sure he did his job correctly, until he can be a trusted assassin in the companies under their wing here, obviously. He said that Todd responded to the email on Daniel's behalf because he's like, I know what they want to hear. I'll take care of this. Click, 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 click. So, he said, did all of that. Now, this is amazing. There is the person who sends all the orders through emails, who is obviously Todd, but the person he signs it as from the company is, quote, Colonel Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Colonel Sean says you need to do this, okay?
Everybody in a giant company like that has a title and then their first name.
Their first name, because he's a cool CEO. Right. You know how it is. Colonel Sean doesn't want people to he wears jeans to the office. He's chill. No sport coats, no tie. There's a keg in his office. He brings you in to sit down. He says, "Can I pour you one?" And you're like, "Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, kick back." There's like an acoustic guitar you can fucking strum on while he's telling you who you're gonna kill.
It's a no shoes zone.
Pinball machines all over the place. You know that kind of office. An NBA Jam.
Colonel Sean.
So yeah. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. The most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Colonel Sean. So, he said Colonel Sean's going to send you email killing orders and all that sort of thing. And you know how all that goes. So over the next week, Daniels exchanged a series of emails with the company t@usa.net email address regarding his assignment. He's going back and forth. This show should be called Who is Dumber? Because it's just a dumb contest. Who's the biggest moron?
This is certainly a stupidity contest.
Oh, Gordon will come back to the hill, comes charging to the front of the. Oh, man, is he stupider than
He's
most
fading
people?
right now, fading back.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm telling you, he comes around like the home stretch. He waits for the home stretch.
Yeah.
The jockey holds him back a little bit.
Yeah.
They sandbag him, and they really start whipping him in the final lap here. So
Conserve the energy for those last 500 feet.
you gotta. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's when a lot of races are lost, Jimmy. You don't want to fuck it up. One of these emails that he received contained a threat on Daniel's life if he failed to kill Carol. The company's email address was registered to a physical address in Northern Ireland as well, in case Daniels decided to check up on the trail. That's just what's your address, and somebody put it in there, so that's what it's registered to. And the company's emails were found later on. They'll be, of course, on Todd's computer. He's the one sending all these fucking emails. So. Murder prep. Here we go. As Daniels prepared to murder Carol for his assignment, Todd provides assistance and advice because he's an experienced assassin. So he's, this guy's just getting his beak wet in the whole killing game. So he tells Daniels, listen, kill Carol while I'm in Oregon. So that way I'll have an alibi. We don't want me to fucking get in trouble for this. He tells Daniels here, this is how you dispose of the murder weapon and all of this stuff. Now, Daniels said, hey, listen, I need to request extra money. I sent an email in. Literally, I sent an email in for extra expense money to the company. Yeah. And they refused it.
Really?
They told me I can't have any more expenses. They literally said one appetizer. It's a one appetizer limit.
You guys are telling me there's no petty cash around here?
This is ridiculous. I need things. So Todd said, I'll help you out. That way you can get started, because it's like multi-level marketing. You have to buy a couple of packages up front. They're not going to lend you the money to buy the packages from them. That's crazy. So
you got to get these leggings in your garage.
Duh. So Todd then advises Daniels, all right, here's when you kill Carol, May 16th, 1998, because I'm going to be gone all day at a gun show. So that's when you kill her. Now, Todd also asks Lynn to help out in this killing as well. Let's get as many people involved in this as humanly possible. Let's get as many witnesses that can turn state's evidence as we can involved here. So in the fall of 1996, he had discussed killing Carol as a way for them to reunite with Lynn in one of their motel rendezvous. Right, he said, what if Carol was dead? Wouldn't that, I mean, we tried killing Dean. Obviously he's bulletproof, but
that's tough.
What if we kill Carol? I mean, then we'll figure Dean out later.
Yeah.
So now Todd began saying that because of the earlier incident in Oregon, Lynn had no choice but to help the company with one of their contracts because they tried to do something for her and it didn't work. So now you're in too deep, Lynn. You got to do a favor for the company or else you're a dead woman.
Right.
He later revealed to Lynn that Carol is the target and there's nothing he could do about it. Listen, you're going to have to kill my wife. It's not from me. I don't make these choices. You're going to have to kill my pregnant wife. Sorry. So at Todd's request, Lynn often spoke with Daniels via email, online chat rooms, and instant messaging, and even on the telephone in the weeks up to Carol's, the planned Carol's murder here. Todd tells Daniels that Lynn, the reason why they're talking so much is because Lynn is one of the people assigned by the company to keep an eye on him. There's someone watching him physically, but she interacts with him to, quote, psychologically evaluate him on behalf of the company.
How the fuck? How could he be this dumb?
How the fuck? It's an ongoing job interview. They're going to keep talking to you. How stupid are you?
Every day, all day.
Yeah. This, of course, would allow Lynn to give Todd updates on the level of preparedness that Daniels is going through. Oh, are you ready here? Do you have this? You're all set? Very good. Wow. So May 16th, 1998, Todd and Daniels work at a gun show that day. Carol spends the morning with her friend, Tracy Jones, there. They're both pregnant, and they spend the day touring the maternity ward at the hospital and looking at newborns.
Yeah.
This is some pregnant activity right here.
It is. Yeah.
That's, by the way, a very pregnant woman is the only person who can do that and doesn't look crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Anybody else, if you were walking staring at the newborns and they're like, which one's yours? And you're like, oh, I don't have a kid in here at all. I'm just looking at the babies. They should take you away. But if you're like 9 months pregnant and you're looking at babies, that's like, okay, that's cute. That's the only time that's cute and not weird or nuts or crazy.
She wants to see what's in there. There they are.
Criminal. Yeah. That makes sense. So they tour the maternity ward, peek at the newborns at Mercy Medical Center. They do all of that. Then Carol stopped at the gun show to say hi at about 1:30 p.m. here and leaves with Daniels. She gives Daniels a ride, I guess. Todd said that, she's giving Daniels a ride home. Now, Todd had previously recommended you should kill Carol this day because everyone's going to be at the gun show, and killing her at home, there's a sparsely populated area. No one will see you out there. It'll be fucking beautiful. But Carol dropped by the show after the doctor's appointment. Daniels went home with her there. This is fucking crazy. They get home, Carol and Daniels here. They get home. They watch a movie together. Okay, they watch The Killing Time, an 1987 movie starring Kiefer Sutherland. Okay? That's what they watch. Kiefer Sutherland movie time. About two lovers with a murderous agenda.
Yeah.
That's what it says here. So now Todd stayed behind to sell the rest of the camo shit. High demand that day. So you got to do that. Now, after the movie, Daniels leaves to return the movie, and Carol went to her room to go lay down. Okay? Now, he couldn't bring himself to kill her before he left to bring back the movie. He said he left the house to bring the movie back, parked on a side street, and walked through a field leading to Todd and Carol's back door. Yep. He stopped halfway through when he feared Carol, who Todd told him was a trained assassin.
Yeah.
So she's like, pregnant or not, he's that belly. It's probably a false belly. She's going to pull a machine gun out and just mow me down.
Right.
So he was scared that she was going to see him and kill him first. So he's like, I'm an assassin going to kill an assassin. You got to be on your game for that shit. You know what I mean? First assignment, I got to kill an assassin? Come on, man.
She's only hindered by a pregnant belly. She's still better than me. I've never done this.
So he then drove back to the front of the house and went inside trying to calm his nerves. And he said, quote, I'm pacing and I'm running my hand through my hair. Finally, it comes to me. I'll do it fast. I'll just do it fast. So he said he walked into Todd and Carol's bedroom and made small talk with Carol. Just talk. They were talking about the dog, Jack the dog, which is her boss's dog that she's keeping an eye on.
Right.
They're just watching. And, it's a cute dog, blah, blah, blah. Daniels the whole time has a .44 revolver in his back pocket, tucked in his waistband.
God.
Hand cannon. This is
a lot of gun.
A ridiculous amount of gun.
Yeah.
Just way too much gun. He says that Daniel said he said to himself, quote, I said now or never in my head. As I was talking to her about Jack, I was contemplating what I was about to do. I thought about my son. I thought about my family. I really thought I was a dead man. And he said the reason I wanted to take her by surprise is because Todd convinced me that she was an assassin, and if I don't get to her first, she could get to her gun and kill me because she's obviously got a gun with a silencer under her pillow, clearly. So he said that he turned away so she wouldn't see him with the gun, but he does say at this point he shoots her, and he says her eyes were on him when he shot her in the face with a .44 caliber.
Oh, my God.
From 3 feet away.
What
Maybe.
the fuck?
That's insane. She tried to cover her head with both hands, which obviously doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He fired 4 more shots, including a shot in the chest and one in the back as well. The one in the back also hit killed the baby, hit the baby. And
son of a bitch,
killed the baby as well. So, and this baby was due in 2 weeks. It was ready to come. It's a fucking baby in there. So, he said, quote, she was still moving and I didn't want her to suffer. He said, as I was shooting at her, she had rolled over. It seemed to me she was attempting to get under the bed.
Yeah.
And so that he said he shot her because he wanted to put her out of her misery and he felt bad. He said he left immediately, driving to a stop-and-ride parking lot, as Todd had told him to do, and the idea was to make it look like a carjacking. So he drove her car and left it out there in the parking lot there. So she had gunshot wounds to her lower torso and head and chest, back, the whole deal, and dropped her Jeep off over at the parking lot. And then Daniels went home and paged Todd with the message, "All done, going home." Whoa. Todd called Daniels to ask whether the message was for him. No, I'm killing someone else's fucking wife tonight, too. And Daniels said yes, it was. Then Daniels left a message for Lynn, and the two later communicated online and over the phone, where she told him to dispose of any evidence. He also emailed companyt@usa.net with the message, "package delivered." Holy shit. Later on that afternoon, let's enter the Gordon guy back into this now.
Okay.
Gordon lives with Carol and Todd at this point, by the way. He's staying in the house for a while here. He's got a girlfriend named Sarah Mann, and she arrived at Todd and Carol's residence there, and I guess they were all, Gordon, Daniels, Todd and Carol and her were all planned to go out that evening. On the way there, she said she saw Daniels driving the Jeep, which was him leaving the house. She entered the home but didn't see anybody there. She didn't go into their bedroom because you don't go into people's bedrooms. She entered the home. No one was there. She watched TV and played on the computer for a little while.
Dear Lord, with two bodies upstairs.
Yeah, well, they're right there. So Gordon ends up getting home. Gordon shows up, followed 10 minutes later by Todd. Todd asks, "Where's Carol? You guys seen Carol?" Went outside, then quickly came back in, Todd does, then asked someone to call 911 because their Jeep had been stolen. Jeep stolen. So the girlfriend that was driving here, the one that was playing on the computer, she said, "I just saw Daniels driving the Jeep." But he said, no, Jeep stolen, got to call 911. This is crazy.
There's no way
You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
No, you didn't see that. That's crazy. Jeep stolen. So then Todd went into the bedroom. I'm going to go down in the bedroom and call 911. This is crazy. And when he gets in there, oh, no,
there
Carol.
She is.
So he calls 911, does, trying to resuscitate Carol, giving her CPR and all this type of shit. So when the deputies arrived, he was, covered in blood next to his, holding her head. Oh, God, I was giving her CPR. It's a horrible thing. It's this poor Carol, man. She did nothing to anybody. This is fucking crazy. She didn't do shit to anybody, had no idea all this is going on. Meanwhile, this asshole's got like 5 different lives he's leading.
I'm shocked that was the choice.
That's not where anybody expected this to go. That's the thing. Stunning. So the EMTs show up. They're obviously unable to revive her. She's pronounced dead at the scene. She's been shot 5 times with a .44 at close range. You're not coming back from that. So that night, the Todd and Daniels talk on the phone, and Todd asked Daniels if he knew that Carol has been murdered. Did you hear Carol got killed? Yeah. Like he didn't know. And he said the police were looking for it. Police are looking for you, man. Carol got killed. And he also said, get rid of the evidence, bro. What the fuck are you doing? So Daniels here, who was at a friend's house, asked Todd for a ride home to get rid of the gun. But Todd's like, I can't fucking be seen with you. Shit, no. I'm not doing that. So the next morning, Daniels asks Lynn to have the company protect him. You got to have the company protect me, man. I think I'm fucked here. I think
call
I'm
Sasha.
Call Sasha. Get the CIA people on the line because I think I need to be relocated. Like I'll hide out in like Turkmenistan for 6-8 months. I'll come back. Heat'll die down.
Tell Corporal Sean I need a meeting.
I need Colonel Sean. Tell Colonel Sean I need a meeting. Chat. A little chit chat. So Lynn told Daniels that Todd wanted Daniels to return home and dispose of the gun. Though Todd warned that the house is being watched, so be careful. Todd also mentioned the possibility that maybe you can flee to New York after you get rid of the gun. Well, we can set you up, type of thing. Deputies find the Jeep in a parking lot a few miles from the house where Daniels had left it. Todd later on tells, because now Carol's dead. He's talking to Carol's family, saying, "Oh my God, someone broke in our house, stole our car, killed Carol. This is crazy." He tells her father that Todd tells Carol's father that they also stole our savings from the house. We had our cash in here. It was stolen as well. Just robbed, man. But the father said he doubted that they had any money at the home because he said that his daughter, Carol, had asked him for her birthday money early so she could buy maternity clothes.
Oh,
so
wow.
Probably don't have a lot of savings laying around, liquid savings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're asking for money for little stuff.
Yeah. So the next day, obviously, they talked to Todd, the cops do. The detectives asked him if he killed his wife and unborn child. Yeah. And he said later on, he'll describe, that question just broke him mentally and physically. He was horrified by it. Yeah. He said, quote, "It's barbaric, the thought of it. What gain could you get from the death of your wife and child?" It's terrible. That's what he told the press, by the way. That's his press quote. He said, "We had a $10,000 insurance policy. That's minimal. That's nothing." He said some of that money was used to cover her funeral, which took place at the Moose Lodge, by the way.
Really?
Classy. And where he said, "I gave my wife's eulogy that day." Yeah. We'll talk about that as well. The father here, Carol's father, James Holman, said that Carol supported herself and her husband with her job, and he said that they were struggling like any other young couple, and it was terrible. Todd said he continued, Carol was going to keep working at her job at the Bell Insurance Agency and bring her baby son to work with her. They told her she could bring the kid in with her. She was going to keep working. And, the office had even been redecorated to better suit the child.
Unreal.
Yeah, that's a very good work environment,
blocks,
I would say.
God damn it.
Yeah, took up all the sharp edges, all that kind of shit.
Put a bunch of plastic things
Soft
in the
walls.
outlets.
No shit. So her mother, Carol's mother, said that she last saw her daughter in April when Carol and Todd came to visit. And she also has 3 older brothers in Portland, and everybody's obviously pretty bummed out about this. Carol was known as a very nice person. They said, this is her mother, said, quote, while we understand and encourage the police to consider all possibilities, we do not believe Todd had anything to do with our daughter and Jesse's death. We ask the community to be supportive to the feelings of the Garton family. Mm-hmm. So please don't say that you think he was a part of it when we're her parents and we don't think that. So stop already. Now, Todd here, they said that there was somebody suing Todd here in court. Rick Clark of Bella Vista suing him for $10,000, alleging that he's guilty of breach of contract for some fencing bullshit. Mm-hmm. They add that to the story about his wife being murdered, which is funny as shit. So now the memorial here, Lynn shows up for the memorial service, by the way.
Really?
She comes in, and they, of course, had sex in her hotel room, Todd and Lynn, during the memorial shit. Wow. And a short time later, he paid on his credit card for a credit report for Lynn as the first step in helping her find a rental house in Reading, right by him.
Yeah.
So Daniels gets arrested pretty quickly here.
I'm sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
As he comes home to throw out the gun, there's 2 detectives who've been fucking watching him the whole time.
Right.
And so they heard he was coming back. They take him into custody. They search his home. They find the gun. That's the murder weapon. They find clothing, footwear, all the shit he was wearing, covered in blood, her blood, the baby's blood, additional evidence, all this shit. It's a lot. So Todd said, "My friend did this?" That son of a bitch. Yeah. He said he could not believe anyone who knew his pregnant angel of a wife could possibly kill her and his beloved unborn son. This is ridiculous. He said she had no enemies. In the press, they're interviewing Todd, like, who could have done it? He's like, I wish I knew. She had no enemies. Everybody who knew her loved her, he says. But a Shasta County sheriff's detective ends up arresting Daniels and Norman Gerald Daniels III. He's arrested at his home. He's being held on $1.5 million bail. Daniels tells detectives that, yes, he did shoot Carol. He admits to it. Oh, boy. He's not real bright. Then he said, I drove the Wagoneer to the riding stop. I parked it. I headed home. And nothing else was taken from the home, he added. So the savings line was bullshit. That's just him trying to get insurance money. Todd can't believe this. In the paper, he said, stunned. He said, quote, he is a good, close friend of this family. We would have given him anything he asked for. Why would this happen? I just don't understand this. Can't believe it.
Daniels has got to be pissed.
Oh, God. So he said in the paper, he says that I've been telling, Carol's father and her whole family that the shooting probably happened because Daniels was jealous of me and Carol's relationship. Yeah. Obviously, he was jealous and he couldn't have a relationship of his own, so he just couldn't see us happy, man. Todd also acknowledged that I'm sure the detectives do have sufficient evidence to suspect Daniels, but he says he wants to be certain they aren't just arresting anybody, because that is a friend of his. So if he didn't do it, he said, quote, "I want the person who did it, not the person who's convenient to get." He's like, listen, I want this done right, not yesterday. So, it has to happen here. Todd spent the day selling camouflage things and all this type of shit. He said, "I thought it was weird that the dogs were in the house and the vehicle was gone. Yeah, super weird when I got there." He said, "I found my wife lying on the bedroom floor." He said, my friend Dale Gordon had just got there. His girlfriend was there, and I tried CPR. It was just too late and terrible, man. He said, "We've been trying for 10 years to have a child, and finally, we were going to have our sweet baby Jesse, and he was going to have his mother's birthday of June 14th.
Wow.
Which is very weird because this is around when we're recording that. That's very strange. So he said the baby was the most important thing in the world to us. That's how close, the month she was due. Mm-hmm. She was going to be an amazing mother. This guy has fucking balls the size of cantaloupes. What a fucking asshole. So Carol and her friend Tracy, they talk about where she went and all that kind of shit. And Todd said, you look back. He said, talked about the last time he saw his wife was at the gun show. Said, "Hey, yeah, see you later." And he said, you look back and you wish you could have said a lifetime of words.
Okay.
And that last time, he said he can't wrap up the many attributes of his wife in a few neat sentences. He carries a photograph of her in his pocket watch, though. Heartbroken. He said, there isn't an encyclopedia that could sum up her grace and dignity. I know people in retrospect, they always say good things, but she's perfect. No one could ever hold a candle to her, except this broad Lynn who I fucking hotel rooms all across rural Oregon. There is her. But besides that,
she doesn't hold a candle to her. She just holds my cock in her mouth.
Jesus. She also was into archery, Carol. She was good at archery. She was also a really good musician, they said. She was such a nice person. He just talks about recently some horses ran loose in the neighborhood, and Carol accidentally hit one with her car, breaking its leg. Todd said she sat on the roadside crying and crying and crying. Yeah. He said, quote, she would have rather that she was the one who broke her leg. If she cared that much about animals, relate that to how much she cared about people. Mm-hmm. Oh, Carol. Yeah, Carol was a great person. He's right about all this, but he can't say it.
No.
You know what I mean? Todd said, I didn't notice any unusual behavior about my murdering asshole friend there at the gun show. He was just acting normal. He says Daniels is a single parent who held down 3 jobs to support his 3-year-old son, is what he says. So he was a good friend of mine. And now, I don't know. He said, quote, it's just unfathomable that the whole thing happened. They also accused Daniels of murder for financial gain, which is a special qualifier that gets you up for the death penalty, number one. Yeah. But it's so weird. Who the fuck paid him? That's a weird charge. Uh-huh. There's no one's charged with paying him at this point. So it's like, that's really weird, but that's what they do. When they ask the district attorney about that, he says, quote, I can't talk about the specifics. What I can say is we would not allege that unless we had good faith we could prove it in court. Oh, in other words,
there's a conspiracy charge coming. Yeah.
In other words, ... Yeah. Hang on a fucking minute here. They said, well, will there be any more arrests? He said, can't comment on that. Yeah. It's what's his name here? McGregor Scott, the district attorney. He also says that detectives have not determined a motive in the killing. He said it's something we're really sifting through. It's unclear to us. Now, they said they had considered Todd a suspect since day one, obviously, and because of that, they're trying to get him to try to contact Daniels. Uh-huh. So they hold a mock arraignment for Daniels in Shasta County Superior Court. It's not real. They just hold it and announce it in hopes that he'll try to contact him before he enters a plea and does all this shit. So he hoped that they gave Daniels a fake defense attorney, and they hoped that Todd would call the fake defense attorney to get a hold of him, and then they could tape record the call. But he never called the obviously. He never called the attorney, though, and they had the real arraignment for him later on. Okay. So later on that day. After Daniels' arrest, though, Todd tells Lynn to tell the police that Daniels was jealous of their... Tell him that you heard him say he was jealous of our relationship, because that's what I'm going to tell the cops. And and that she had only ever interacted with Daniels over the internet. And also make sure you say that we have no romantic relationship, me and you. Okay, great, good.
You don't know what I taste like. Let's move on.
There you go. June 1998, detectives come to Lynn's house to talk to her.
Oh, boy.
Seeing them approach from the kitchen window, she calls Todd quick. Goes, fucking cops are here.
Yeah.
And he tells her to, quote, remember the truth that we discussed and stick to that. Not the truth that we talked about. That truth.
Yeah.
Remember that. So Daniels, at this point, they're like, okay, Todd's not calling him. We'll have Daniels call Todd. He's a fucking moron. He'll probably take the call. So on May 18th, the detectives have Daniels call Todd. Call Todd. In that recorded conversation, Daniels tells Todd that he, quote, copped a plea of jealousy. And he said, quote, I'm going to, yes. No, that's what Todd said that he told him. He said, he told me that he was jealous, and that's what it was. He said, I'm going to get on the phone. This is what Todd told him. Quote, I'm going to get on the phone to the big boys and see what we can pull here. I'll see whatever monies you had coming goes to your kid or your family or something, he says. Don't worry about that. Yeah. He says, even if you get the death penalty, you're going to get yours. Don't you worry about that. Quote,
what?
We'll take care of you. You're taken care of.
If
the
I
company,
get what?
Even if you get the death penalty.
What?
That $1,000 is going to go to your kid. Don't you worry about it. That'll cheer him right up when he wonders where Dad is at night.
Sent to your fam. Don't worry.
Really. Don't try to say we don't have to do it. It's no problem at all. It's the least we can do.
Take care of the tax deductions and everything.
Oh, man. So now Lynn, they talk to Lynn. She is making contradictory statements left and fucking right. She's not good at this at all. And they ask her a lot about the trip that Todd took there in April 1998. And she's making contradictory statements. She told the detectives that she didn't see him that month and later said that she did. And then she told the prosecutor a different story.
Yeah.
It's not good. So there's a bunch of evidence as well that are kind of incriminating to Todd, that Todd and Carol traveled to Oregon in April 98. During that visit, Todd met up with Lynn and they had sex, even though Carol was there too. Not in the room, obviously. During the same month, Todd ordered business cards from a local printing store for someone called the Patriot.
Yeah.
And also later ordered a flyer for Carol's memorial service at the same store. He's like, I have an account already. I'm the Patriot guy. How dumb is this fucking guy?
Dipshit.
They won't notice that.
Yeah.
He also kept a receipt from April 27th, 1998 from Office Max showing the purchase of a manila envelope, a pager, a label maker, and several other office supplies that you would give a hit package to. So they went, let's go ahead and arrest Todd.
Yes.
We're arresting Todd. So they arrest Todd at about 4 p.m. at a home, not his home, but a different home. This is 2 weeks after the due date of their son, by the way. They arrest him. So he is held at the Shasta County jail on suspicion of homicide and conspiracy to commit murder, and bail is set at $1 million. Carol's father doesn't want to believe it. He says, quote, this has to be a monster to do something like this. Yeah, obviously. That's a fact, man. You're right.
Truth.
He faces various felony charges, including the murder, the conspiracy, murder of a human fetus, murder for financial gain, murder for this, murder for that.
Lots of
murder for jelly donuts, murder of, doesn't matter.
Murder of the truth, murder
of the truth,
murder of valor.
Common sense, valor, common sense. There's a lot of things, really. So they said that, the cop said to the press, you can still be a principal, although you're not involved in the act, talking about the conspiracy. Yeah. The father now, Carol's father, super pissed. He says, quote, I didn't see any remorse from him during the funeral. He was calm and putting on a show. If he needed the $20,000, I would have given it to him.
Unreal.
So if he needed the fucking money, if that's what it's about, then they also arrest Lynn, too, because her stories aren't lining up. No. She's booked on $1 million bail, 2 counts of murder. Same thing. She's living with her husband, Dean, and their 2 children, 5 and 3 years old. She tried to have the father of her 5 and 3-year-old murdered. That's fucking insane. They live together. Finally, though, when the cop showed up with a search warrant at their home and Dean found out what was going on, he took the kids and left.
Really?
I'm done with you, bitch. Yeah, he was done. He said that the Shasta County detective Steve Grasshoff knocked on the door And they questioned his wife and then told Dean that their belief was that there had been several foiled murder plots against him, by the way. They've been trying to kill you for 2 years, dude. And Dean said in the understatement of the fucking year, said, quote, "It's an eye-opening experience." Yeah. Yes, that's the understatement of the year.
If you don't have an appreciation
for that, I think it's an eye-opening experience. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was an option in here. If you don't have an appreciation for life, you do after this. It's a day you don't forget. Yeah, the day the cops knock on your door and tell you your wife's been trying to kill you for 2 years, you don't forget that day. No one ever does, boy. I'll tell you what. It's like your first kiss. You're just never going to forget it.
Boy, Mr. Kinda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he said, quote, "My opinions have changed drastically as to what anybody's capable of after this." Yep. So then Dale Gordon gets arrested as well. Yep. They bring in Dale. Now, Todd, by the way, during this whole thing, they're all in the same jail, the Shasta County Jail, all these fucking morons, the 4 of them. So Todd threatens Daniel's life in jail and attacks him in an elevator in the jail.
Why would they allow those people near each other ever?
Well, let's find out. So he got a misdemeanor battery charge after that. There was a it happened October 1st. Todd and Daniels were headed to the second day of their preliminary hearing for the homicide case. Todd spent the first day of the hearing listening to the details of Daniels' confession, where he gives them everything. Daniels had told about everything. So while en route to court for the second day, Daniels was riding in an elevator when the doors opened on level 3.
Oh, God.
And there was fucking Todd standing there when the doors opened, and Todd rushed him, saying, "Oh, you're dead," is what he told him, and started attacking him. There was a deputy there, so the deputy told Todd not to enter the elevator, even though he did. Then Todd swung his closed fist at Daniels, hitting him in the head, face, and upper torso several times. Seconds later, more deputies arrived and separated the two. Yeah. So, yeah, obviously he's, whatever.
Trouble.
Yeah, that's crazy. So Todd, I guess they said that, quote, that he, quote, threatened to kill Norm if we ever turned on him. That's why he did it. So that's what Daniel says. So inmates are usually made to wear full restraints, belly chains around their waist, and wrists plus leg irons when traveling from jail to court. He said, but inmates do not typically wear the restraints in the jail, and they were technically in the jail even though they were coming back from court or whatever, or going to court. They didn't get in that shit yet. So this is fucking weird, I would say. So now there's a fight over the ashes of Carol, by the way.
Who wants them?
Well, they're the cremated ashes of Jesse and Carol. Her parents want them.
Yeah.
Her parents want the ashes, but they said they're unable to get their daughter's ashes because Todd's parents have them.
Why?
Because after the service, the ashes were given to the husband. They were given to the spouse. And he then, when he got arrested, gave them to his parents.
Yeah.
And that's where they are. So the father, this is Carol's mother, Virginia, said, quote, "Our family was denied the right to scatter Carol and little Jesse's remains," because they were cremated. Mm-hmm. "It's been a very sad situation, and the fact that we couldn't get the remains was especially hard on the family again." So, yeah, they said that the Todd's parents said, "Well, no remains left. We already scattered them."
What?
We scattered them over some waterfalls. So
what the fuck?
That's it. Now her parents said that they were devastated. They were planning on making a memorial for Carol near their homes, and that was part of it. They said, quote, "That is the only thing that we have left of her for her remembrance. We feel like we've disappointed her." Jesus Christ, that's brutal.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that's gross. And they even tried to get a lawyer. They consulted with an attorney about getting the remains back, but the attorney told them they couldn't get the remains back unless Todd was convicted of this. Right. Then you can get them back. But until then, he's the spouse. They belong to him. That's all there is to it. Also, that Carol's family was unable to benefit from the new state health and safety code because the regulation went into effect this year. So the law says no person charged with first or second degree murder or voluntary manslaughter has the right to control the victim's remains. Mm-hmm. So, but that came into effect after that. Now, Todd and Lynn, in court, they let the judge severs their cases. Okay. Lynn puts in a thing to have her shit severed, and they're severed. So, she's charged with the conspiracy also to kill Dean. Mm-hmm. So is Daniels and Todd and Gordon, all of them. So Lynn decides she's going to cop a plea here. She's not going to do this shit. She pleads, and she's sentenced to, you, sir, or you, ma'am, may fuck off 25 to life.
Shit.
25 to life she got for that.
And that's on a plea.
That's on a plea. They said she was up for the death penalty otherwise. So they said she was, quote, quite tearful in court when she agreed to that. Gordon gets a sentence of 10 years in state prison, which is the maximum for attempted murder, because he was only in on the attempted murder part. So anyway, both of they both pled on this, Gordon and Lynn, and they waived their rights to appeal with this as well. That's part of the deal. No right to appeal, and they must serve 85% of their sentences before they're paroled. If Lynn's released from prison, she will be placed on lifetime parole as well. That's part of her deal.
21 years?
Yep. And it also, she had to sign an agreement saying she would testify truthfully in the trials of Norman Daniels and Todd. So, anyway, Todd's trial comes up.
Oh, boy.
It is insane. The prosecution plays a taped phone conversation where he's the one where he called and was, talking about all that. He says in the conversation, quote, Todd asks him, quote, so you said you did it? And Daniel said, I just went, I'm sorry. He then says, quote, I just went to the wall for you with record searchlight. I can't believe you did that, man. Good job, I guess. So then he offers to hire Daniels a lawyer, tells him not to worry. The company will take care of him. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. So they talk about his boasts, the prosecution, about who he says he is. The defense attorney here tells jurors that, listen, this Daniels testimony and all these other co-defendants, they can't be trusted.
No.
Can't trust them.
Why not?
He said, quote, you will have to keep an open mind.
You bet.
That's rough when you're opening a defense case and you're going, I'm going to need you to keep an open mind here. That's not good.
You're going to hear a lot of things today.
Wow. He describes, this attorney, the defense attorney, describes the co-defendants as, quote, failures whose interests in vampires, fantasy worlds, and computer games were their own, not Todd's. So this is their fantasy world they're talking about, not Todd's fantasy world here. He described Todd as a man who was excited about his coming son, taking birthing classes with his wife, and was busy with his successful fencing business, obviously. I'm fencing everything. I'll fence you in, motherfucker. That's right. So now Daniels testifies, and he gets on there, and the district attorney told the press, I think he wants to tell the truth. And so he gets on there, and they, by the way, about Daniels, the defense attorney said, quote, isn't he a sleazy little lying murderer? That's how he described Daniels. Then said, we noted that his friendship ended when he unloaded 5 rounds into his friend's wife. Terrible fucking person. So they talked about, well, why did you, when they get Daniels on the stand, why did you believe all of his stories? Yeah. What the fuck are you doing? He said, well, he had a knowledge of the military. He had a tattoo of a Celtic cross, and then he also had the same symbol marked on one of his guns. So I thought it was all legitimate issue stuff.
It's not. You can't do all those things yourself.
They said, are you just trusting? Yeah. And he says, quote, it's a fault, I guess. I'm a trusting person. I guess so. For example, if you told me you had $1 million in the bank, I wouldn't ask you for your bank statement.
No.
Okay, you could tell this guy anything. During this, Todd yelled at the prosecutor, by the way, in the middle of the whole thing. When Daniels, I guess Daniels there was a sequence of questions and answers, and there's something that they messed something up, the prosecutor and Daniels. I don't remember what happened here, but the prosecutor chuckled over the awkwardness of the whole thing, and then he said, sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but he answered the wrong question to this and that. Yeah. So Todd yelled at the prosecutor. He said, quote, he's just a murderer. Why don't you just go ahead and laugh?
What?
I don't know. The judge told him to sit down and shut the fuck up. And Dale Gordon has the testimony of the day. He gets up here and he says, listen, here's what happened. I was living at the house and, they wanted to kill the pregnant wife, all that. I guess they were going to, whatever, get the insurance policy. I don't know. That's what I guess ended up happening. He said that listen, once I got to jail, because they're like, how you been since you've been in jail? Gordon says, well, been put on medication for having hallucinations. That's a problem.
Oh.
Yeah, including visions of being attacked by the devil, which is, that seems scary.
Yeah.
Then seeing images of God as well. And he said, I'm still on the medication as of right now, sitting on this stand. And they said, so they gave you medication? And he said, quote, I was completely out of my mind. I was completely insane. Somebody else in the jail pod cast spells on me. Sorcery. It's in the Bible.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's what he said. It's in the Bible. Then at one point he said, I guess the defense attorney said that, is this revenge on Todd? And Todd said, and Gordon said, quote, by telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The truth hurts, and I know it hurts, doesn't it, Todd? And he looked at Todd, and then the attorneys agree later that they saw Gordon, quote, flip off Todd in the courtroom. Doesn't it, Todd? And then he gave him the finger. This is amazing. The judge said that they wouldn't reprimand the witness out of fairness to the defense. They will explain to the jury that, that's not an official finger that was given.
Yeah.
Gordon then said that he knows he's a, quote, terrible Christian for lying to the police about a murder attempt on Dean, which they never did. But he said, quote, the Bible tells us lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, and I don't want to be an abomination to the Lord. I want to tell the truth as best I can.
Okay.
You are a fucking 73 IQ murderer. Or not a murderer, an almost murderer, an attempted murder, conspirator, a would-be murderer. So, if the prosecutors say that Gordon's lying and they call him on it, he can get the murder charges reinstated and face life in prison. So, Daniels confesses in court, by the way, that he fired all 5 shots. He's all the things we said. Then Gordon said, quote, if he hadn't done what he did to Carol, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'm pissed at him for killing my good friend, Carol Garton. So he's mad. He's mad at Daniels for doing this. He also blames Daniels for telling the police about the murder attempt on Dean. He says Daniels told everything. He told about what happened in Oregon, which was enough to send me to prison. That shit passed. Why do we have to bring that up? No one died. What the fuck? They show graphic autopsy pictures. Very graphic here. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's bad, man. It's like there's gunpowder burns on her face. That's how close this is. Surrounded by a neat bullet hole, evidence of close range, obviously. A black eye showed that another bullet fired into the back of her neck came to a stop in that eye socket. It was right there. Shot in the chest, in the back of the head. It's not good. The defense attorney said the pictures are very disturbing to Todd here. Yeah. He said he vomited in court out of this. He had to puke from it. He was so horrified. The defense attorney said, quote, I'm having to talk to him and divert him all the time. His hands are always shaking. Imagine having to go through hearing about his unborn son with a bullet through its head. Mm-hmm. Imagine fucking trying to pay someone to do that. Wow. Lynn testifies, said that, Todd gets angry sometimes. At one point, he angrily threw her against a hotel room wall after an attempt to kill Dean in the parking garage didn't work because she had sent a different car. Lynn said, quote, he was furious. He's very hot-headed. He said there were other people involved and a lot of time and money invested. It's a whole company here. Yeah. She said she had changed her mind several times about wanting to kill her husband. Whenever she did, Todd would convince her that Dean was cheating on her and, all that. She said, quote, it hurt. He fueled my fire. You certainly want to kill him, don't you? She also said that when she met Todd at her hotel room to ask what happened, Lynn said that she didn't know. They began to argue, and Garton threw her against a wall at that point. She said, I was really scared. He said at one point, we're going to try the murder again. I said, well, I don't really want you to. And he said he wanted to go through with it. So she tried to appease him by saying she would get Dean to go to the movies that night so another murder attempt could be made. However, she kept him home, and they had dinner guests coming over and no reason to go out. So she said that she wasn't willing. She said she wasn't willing to pay Todd for the murder because she would need all of her husband's life insurance to raise her children. And if she and Dean married afterwards, or she and Todd married afterwards, they would share everything anyway. So why fucking bother paying him? She said, my thinking was, in the long run, it might be better for the kids to go through a loss than a bitter custody battle. Are you kidding me? It might be better for the kids, for their father to be murdered? I don't think so. Then Todd testifies on his own behalf. This is the type of guy who has to. He has to. He's like Ted Bundy. I'm a salesman. I'll tell these people what's up. He denied he was involved in any plot to kill Dean or in Carol's murder. He said that on weekends he traveled to hunting equipment shows across the region. These trips often took him to Oregon. One was to Eugene, where he did meet Lynn, but they didn't have any sex. That's crazy. He said, we've never had sex in any of the years since we broke up, all the way to the time Carol died. We never had sex here. He said, although Lynn did repeatedly tell him about her suspicion that Dean was having an affair, he said he never provided her with any information to confirm these suspicions, even though he's the one that planted the suspicions. He said in early 1998, Todd said he met with Gordon and Daniels at the Moose Lodge to discuss a trip to Portland. There, they did not discuss killing Dean. Instead, they discussed going to a hunting equipment show. It was just February 1998, the three morons traveled to Portland to promote Todd's business. They brought a variety of weapons and gear, but Garton shot none of the guns they brought during the trip, even though they said he fired a gun out the hotel window. They spent the first night at a Quality Inn and visited downtown Portland. Yeah, rough. The next morning, they did not go to the parking garage near Dean's work. They then went to the Hampton Inn, where Todd met Lynn, and that evening, Daniels and Gordon took Todd's car and went to a bar near Lynn's home, while they were alone, and then the three of them left the next morning. So he said he returned to Portland on May 9th. Todd does, accompanied by Carol. He phoned Daniels from a hotel during that visit to discuss an ongoing fencing project that was behind schedule. This is all innocent. It could all be explained away.
Yeah.
Todd said he had life insurance through the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and had acquired another policy through a private company in May 98. He said he didn't believe Carol even had life insurance, even though they were both there to do the policy at the office, and the guy came in and testified. He said he never approached Daniels about becoming a paid assassin. He never made or saw a wax seal imprinted with a trinket from his home. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Although he did buy an electric label maker, it was for his mother to give to her friend.
Yeah.
Duh.
Not even for me.
Jesus. Todd also did not buy Daniels the gun he used in Carol's murder, nor did he suggest buying that particular gun. He did give Daniels a holster, as well as drive him to pick up the gun, just being a good friend. Yeah. He also went with Daniels to fire the gun after Daniels had purchased it. May 16th, 1998, murder day. He said he went to work at a nearby gun show. Carol visited him. Later on, he received a message from Daniels saying, all done, going home. He was like, I don't know what that meant, but I get home, and Gordon and his girlfriend are there. I said, where's Carol? Noticed the Jeep had been stolen. I saw all this blood. I yelled for someone to call 911. I couldn't find her pulse. It was horrible. He said that I didn't speak with Lynn or Daniels the next day. He said, but I did receive a call from Daniels and, all of that going on. So he told Daniels that he would speak with his dad and older brother, who he had previously called the big boys.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean big shots in this organization. I was talking about my dad and older brother, who are taller than me. You didn't know that? So then the jurors had to watch Patriot Games.
Oh, what?
The Harrison Ford movie. Yes. This is from an article. Harrison Ford made a cameo appearance for the jurors in the Todd Garton murder trial Thursday, shooting up the bad guys and movie prosecutors say Garton borrowed from when plotting to kill his wife. Wow. Garton is on trial here. So they said that the defense attorneys, Russell and Schwartz and James Pierce, requested jurors view the 1992 movie in its entirety to counter the prosecutor's analysis of it. The prosecutor said it's the plot of Patriot Games, and he watches it all the time. And the defense said, we're going to watch Patriot Games, and you show me where that fucking plot is. So anyway, the attorneys at that point started a second movie owned by Todd called Whispering Death. It's a home-produced film about gun silencers and how to make them that he made. So there's that. Weeks early, yeah, that's interesting. They also said, Daniels said he and Garton watched several of Garton's videos as assassination training films there. So all these references, though, to the Patriot Games shit is fucking hilarious. The attorney says in Patriot Games portrays IRA members as bad guys, and the film's hero protects his wife and child from the IRA. Patriot Games is no training film for someone who's supposed to be an IRA sympathizer. Wow, that's amazing. The defense attorney said, quote, the prosecutor said, as long as it's relevant, I don't have a problem with it, though. I like Harrison Ford as much as the next guy. I'm not going to lie here.
And that's just a great movie.
And he used Patriot as another thing. By the way, Sean, apparently, according to one of, I think it was Daniels, Sean is another reference to the Patriot Games movie because in the movie, the alias, I guess it's a reference from the movie at some point. I don't know what fucking reference it is. Now, the prosecutor also said that they may have other movies shown, or the defense attorney said other movies might be shown that they mentioned too, including Sniper with Tom Berenger, Ultimate Sniper with Tom Berenger's older brother, and La Femme Nikita, the USA television show, I assume. Day of the Jackal, which is a old movie as well. These are all movies that Todd owned. So, yeah, anyway, they said this is serious. There's an evidentiary purpose for watching this video.
Just going to spend a day in the thriller section of Blockbuster.
Fuck. And while we're going to watch all the action movies, that's right. Seagal, then Van Damme, then we go down the line. That's how we're doing it. So, verdict comes in, 4 hours of deliberations for Todd. He is found...
him 2 thumbs up.
Giggity guilty.
2 thumbs up, guilty.
2 thumbs up for murder. Sentencing comes around. Death penalty is up here, and they're looking for it. They have victim impact statement, have Carol's father, stepmother, 2 brothers. The family described Carol's personality and interest and her excitement about becoming a parent. They talked about Carol's death and how seriously the death has affected them as a family, as individuals. The defense did not present any evidence in the penalty phase, which is a bad sign. At the beginning, they do their whole thing through the closing argument. At the beginning of the closing argument, before discussing the mitigating factors and arguing in favor of a sentence with life without parole, Todd's counsel says he, quote, has a message as counsel for Mr. Garton to deliver to the jury. He pointed out that Daniel's role in the crime, said Todd was incarcerated and found guilty, and concluded that, quote, to Todd, life without family, freedom, or honor has little value. Okay. He's an honorable Marine, man. Yeah. You might as well kill him. He's neither asking nor he expects more than death from you. So he said, go ahead and kill him. That was their defense. Yeah. We present no defense. He'd rather die than live without his family and freedom and honor and valor and all that shit. So, the prosecutor said a mother was violently taken from her child and a child was taken from its mother and a grandchild from its grandparents. We can go all the way down the line with there. And great parents from this and this from that and a partridge in a pear tree.
Swallowed the fly.
Yeah, exactly. And the leg bone's connected to the knee bone. Right. So the prosecutor also says that death should be imposed in the most extreme types of cases. This is one of those cases. These murders were unusually cruel, and because of that, the punishment must fit the crime. Yeah, she couldn't fucking defend herself. She's a 9 months pregnant lady in bed. He didn't give any sympathy, compassion, or mercy to his wife. He's not deserving of your sympathy, compassion, or mercy. They said, that's that. They also point out the defense says that Norman Daniels has killed his wife. This is the final plea to save him. Mr. Garton points out to you the following. He says, Mr. Daniels has killed his wife, Carol Garton. Norman Daniels killed his son, Jesse James Garton. Norman Daniels took his family from him. The police took his freedom. This verdict has taken his honor. Oh, God. The only thing Todd Garton has left is his life. His life is nothing without his family, freedom, and honor. You might as well kill him. That was it. Done. Walking away. Drop the fucking mic. They also point out that a prison cell is no larger than his own bathroom. And they show a slideshow of flowers and sunsets and beaches and mountains and even all this shit. And they say that these are all things he's never going to see again, including this fucking area of Ireland that he visited and all this type of shit and blah, 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 blah. And so the jury takes 70 minutes to deliberate this, and they come back and say, you, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty for you, asshole.
Shit.
Yeah. You're getting that, you fucking lying asshole twat. So they said he stood motionless and stood for straight ahead. It was 7 men and 5 women doing that one. And the verdict, they said the verdict was one that Todd welcomed. His attorney told jurors that, as we know. The juror afterwards, one of the jurors, a 19-year-old from Bella Vista, said, quote, "It was black and white. 1,000 other jurors in there would have come to the same conclusion. It was tough, though, to say it."
Yeah, it's hard
tough to say kill this guy,
right.
but yeah. Let's see here. Also, the father, her father, Carol's father, said, quote, "When we came down here for the funeral, Todd told us, don't pay attention to these police. They're just a bunch of hicks." And then he said, for a bunch of hicks, they did pretty good.
Not bad.
Not bad. Got everybody busted pretty fucking quick here. There was a book about this, but we didn't use the book here at all, really. It was called Robert Scott. Robert Scott wrote it. It was called Kill or Be Killed, and it was about this whole thing. I don't know where the hell this book is. Anyway, he said it's got a small following. It's kind of creepy. That's what he said. The book's kind of creepy, and it's gained a small following. Now, on the appeal here, he appeals on a bunch of dumb shit. He's a moron. One of the things he appeals on, that's the only one I'm really going to talk about for a second, is that he appeals on the fact that he didn't wear his wedding ring in court. They wouldn't let him wear his wedding ring in court. And that, there's a whole thing about how in society, the wedding ring signifies your commitment to this relationship. And him not wearing the wedding ring means that he was not committed to Carol. And the jury, if he had a wedding ring on, they would have at least... maybe they would have found him guilty, but they would have at least not put him to death if he had a wedding ring on. Who puts a man with a ring on to death? It's never happened before, right? So that would make me more angry if I was on the jury.
Sure.
If I was on the jury and I was angry at a guy for all his shit and then he was still sitting there with his fucking wedding ring on, I'd be like, hang him by his wedding ring. Yeah. Somehow get his head inside that wedding ring, because fuck this guy. So anyway, appeals went all the way to the state Supreme Court, denied. Still death penalty. He was going all the way to the Supreme Court. I think they refused to hear it or told him to fuck off also. Yeah. And he's in jail. They're all in jail except for Gordon, who
and he's
was only doing
death.
Yeah, he's awaiting death.
Oh,
who knows if he ever gets it? But I mean, it's been 5 years at this point since the murder. So
wow, man.
Either way. But them, we're Daniels and Lynn. Yeah. It's been 25 years.
Yeah. Oh, they're
up for parole.
Out.
They're done. Yeah, they're up for parole. Yeah. And I mean, Lynn might be out by now. We don't know. So couldn't find her. But either way, they're out there. That, everyone, is Cottonwood, California. I don't know, man. That was bonkers.
This is the craziest story I've ever heard.
It's insanely twisted.
We've done this for 6 years. That's the craziest story I've ever heard.
It reminds me of Hammond, Indiana, with that guy. It's similar, but this is even crazier. Kudos to Allison for finding the story, by the way. Very good job there, Allison, on finding the story. This was a fucking crazy story. Wow. If you like this story or any of our stories or anything, or just want to be good people, get on whatever app you're listening on, wherever you listen to this. And if you can give a review, do it. Give us 5 stars. Say something about it. Doesn't matter what you say. We don't care. Anything. Just say what your favorite 70s car is. Yeah. There you go.
Remember those candies Bonkers in the 80s? What was your favorite flavor? That's the one.
Yes, that's
chocolate
good.
Was amazing.
That was chocolate was good. I just saw Sarah and I watch old commercials sometimes because they're funny at night. We'll put them on Stone. Good. And there was an old Bonkers commercial on for chocolate ones. It was fucking crazy.
It's a great commercial.
It's like, these are nuts commercials. So where the hell was I?
Sorry.
You leave a review. Talk about Bonkers.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Tell us what your favorite gum is from the 80s and 90s or today. We don't care. Favorite gum. There you go. Also, follow us on social media. We are at Murder Small on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram as well. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com. You're definitely going to want that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You're going to get everything, all sorts of merchandise. You name it, it's on there. If you can think of that was a crazy joke, there's probably a T-shirt and a mug and a floor mat and a fucking shower curtain and everything you can imagine. Skateboard. So get on there and get that. Also, get your tickets to live shows. More importantly, New Orleans, July 15th. That's a show with some tickets left.
Let's sweat it together.
Let's do it. Also, Milwaukee.
Yes.
Come, bring the heat, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That is in September. It's a huge, giant theater. If you guys sell this out, this will be the biggest show we've ever done. So whenever anyone asks, what's the biggest show you ever did? We'll always be saying, we fucking love Milwaukee. Yeah. So come, Milwaukee. Beat out Chicago. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. And by the way, if you saw the Chicago show and you're within driving distance to Milwaukee because they're close, we're doing a completely different show in Milwaukee than we did in Chicago. So come on out and see it again. We promise you will not be disappointed. Do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. My goodness, do we have a lot of good stuff there. And it's not going to stop this week. And by the way, anybody $5 or above, you are going to get access to everything that we put out bonus-wise. Crime and sports bonus, small town murder bonus, all the bonus. And this week, you are going to get, first of all, for crime and sports, you're going to get, we're going to talk about each of our top 5 sports movie list of all time. And not only that, there'll be a couple honorable mentions because there'll be a couple that are really hard to leave off, but we're going to exclude a couple that we know will be in both of our top 3. So we're not repeating ourselves, basically. We'll exclude those like Major League, The Sandlot, shit like that. No, if you want to put that on the list, because that was going to be my number 1 or 2 was Bad News Bears.
It's one of the best
Major League, Bad News Bears. Yeah, you almost have to take those out and put them aside. Right. So we'll figure out a formula, but it'll be fun there. Check that out. Then for Small Town Murders, we are going to do, very requested to go back and do some more old-timey murders where we go through old newspaper articles, and it's anything from the last, who knows, since there's been newspapers that we've printed. And we go through and we find really weird murders and very strange things. Yeah. And then I'm also going to include some weird articles that I've seen while perusing other murders. Things like fucking alien shit, and clowns being murdered in Madison Square Garden, all sorts of weird shit. We'll talk about all that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show where Jimmy will mispronounce your name. Think I'm bullshitting you? Well, guess what? I'm going to prove it right now. Hit me with that list, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Leona Messing, Robin Heyer, Isaac Moya in New Mexico. I hope you love it there. He wanted me to tell him that it was okay. That was a few weeks ago. It's not okay. He knows it's not okay.
Not okay. No,
Janae Wood Mathis, she came to our show in, where were we just at? I don't remember. But it was good to see you, Janae. Karen Lewis, Fran Hitsky in Australia, Jordan Bennett, Sandra Wilkie, Britton Edwards, and Colton Cox. Thank you guys for everything, truly.
Thank
You're fantastic individuals.
Absolutely.
Other producers this week are Justine McNeil, that's what it is. And also the master of karate and friendship for everyone, James.
Good,
he is
good.
The day
man is here. Excellent.
Liz Vasquez, Joey Pepperoni Nips, Ruben Barbasol Can Rodriguez, Peyton Meadows, Natalie Young, Happy Hour checking in Ontario, California, Chloe Rush, Georgiana Porter, Barry McCockiner. You happy now? You proud of yourself? Lori Knack, Tony Pepperoni Nips, Impasta, evidently. Janice Hill, Jason Barnes, Jude Kendall, Megan Deliberate? Megan Deliberity. She wrote a book. It's called No Place for Lizard on Kickstarter, James.
Don't ask Jimmy to pronounce Italian last names. That's the name of the book.
How could you do that, Megan? Doug Jones, Kayla Jones, Jason Gillis, Shelley Roberts, Jamel Thomas. Happy birthday, Martha Taljard or Taljar. I don't know. She wanted me to try to pronounce some Latin shit that says "shut up and give me murder," but there's no way I can do that. Tasse et mihi homicidium. Is that close? No. Brendan Abel, Steve Schnell, Kirby Cherry, Michael Davis, Gina Engel, Madison with no last name, Alicia with no last name, Ann Jones, Sammy Salami Nips, Levi Wiley, Melly Clark, the real Colby Cheese Murderer, the real one, James, Caitlin and Matt Clark.
Coming out of the dark.
Mike Miller, Jose Avila, Patrick Britton, Katrina Livensparger, Courtney Horst, Ann Skeba, Andrew Edgington, Jason Alice, I think. I got a Hardick. Are you proud of yourself, you son of a bitch? Grace Anderson, Ryan Benner, Ryan Horan, Arista Garten, Laura Taylor, Yvette Anselmo, Courtney Bolton, Tiffany Kirchenbaum, Raka Gunmegas, oh boy, Linda Jackson, Jacob Cunningham, Belle Hooper, Dave Pearson, Jody Matthews, Malin, Steffi, Kim Wyndham, Angela Doherty, Alex Stace, Jay Hawker, Grayson with no last name, Nicole with no last name, Denisha Mays, Sherry Kappas, Braden Tang, I think, Colin Monette, Samantha Flowers. It's delicious stuff. Nipsey
I don't
3.
think anyone's ever had that.
Oh, really? Oh,
I haven't.
so
I think
good.
I had it when I was like 3 one time or something.
I've
still
had
exist?
it. Yeah, fuck yeah, it still exists.
Oh, shit,
I haven't had it in years, but I know it still exists. Nipsey 3, Jen DeBoer, Courtney with no last name. I'm not the one supporting it. Samantha Flowers, I said that. Courtney with no last name. Lila Cummings, Christy McNamara, Kelly with no last name. Michael Dowd, Chloe Brasher, Marzipan S. That sounds like a drug. Una Newman, Jen Cry, Shelby with no last name. Andrea Tedesco, Danielle Kelly, Sybil Sierra, Kelly McCabe. I know it. Ty Johnson, Joel
Cybele.
W. Cybele. It's spelled Cybele. That's Cybele.
It's
Cybele?
Cybele.
Maybe.
Cybele.
Sybil.
Yeah,
It's
I think
probably Sybil.
Cybele.
Jay Chopius,
Cybele.
Chepwoos, Joel W. I think I said that. Daniel Jackson, Pat with no last name. Brian Backner, Lisa with no last name. Rachel Van Gordon, Dana Crum, Toya Ward, Chris Drain. What? Ben Klain, Kyle Howell, Hetty Sprugans. Caleb with no last name. Amy Colby, Robert Glenn, Lisa Green, Loretta Leak, Deshanea. Bass, Madison Wood, Paula Thompson, Don't Hurt People and Take Their Stuff, evidently, Crystal Long, The Creepy Lady Next Door, Bob Babruski, Cole Mann, Joe Muscleman, Omar Guzman, Kelly from the Netherlands.
Man. Hey, Netherlands, thank you.
Christina Farrington, Jenna Lowe, Danielle Mitchell, Trisha McCarthy, Carl Martin, Jennifer Kulich, Casey Harrell, Alejandro Bailing, Kate Peterson, Jonathan Eric Federson, Adam Taylor, Chris Rada, Gracie Bellender, Kyle Banks, Blanks, Dana White's Penis, Wendy Chappelle, Pickle Pie,
Good to hear from him.
Berlin's Whimsy, Rob Seguin, Jennifer McKay, Fun Me Lorindy. I don't know. Chantel Marie, Max Burns, Jason Pickett, Gage Wagner, Fred Goins, Jake Stover, Garrett Fairchild, Lauren Ann Jacob with no last name, Sarah Fields Boyd, Jennifer Little, Matt with no last name, Teresa Bowie, Michelle Cost, Gray Crenshaw, Jamie Soledad, Delia Armstrong, Miss Leaney, and all of our patrons. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, everybody, so much. From the bottom of our hearts, we do appreciate you and everything that you do for us. Hope you enjoy all the bonus content and everything we're putting out. If you want to find us on social media, Jimmy and I, individually, you can find us very easy. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com. There's links to all of it. Or just Google Small Town Murder Podcast Hosts. I guarantee you will pop up. Our social media will be there, and we'll be happy to hear from you. So, that said, I hope everybody has a wonderful week, because we're going to keep coming back, and we'll see you on Friday for Express. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country, who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.